Okay, well, since Logus is on the way, we'll start this recap. So, last session began as the party slowly descends into the realm of shadow. Once in Shadowfell, accompanied by strange noises, a thick mist, and an extra locris, the party moves on. Shooing off a red vampiric fog from around Gladir, the party finds some blood rain and themselves in an abandoned, dilapidated, and badly burned, damaged Great Hall. In the center of this village, permeated by fog, buildings all in similar repair. So, using Archie to scout about, you were able to spot the lights of a settlement in the not too far foggy distance, and began that way. Shortly after heading out into the foggy, heavily burn damaged, crumbling village, the party discovers and engages a small pack of feral humanoids. Mid battle, Logos discovers some phase spiders nesting on some rooftops, and the real Locris was revealed, while the impostor, to be a mist creature shape changing of sorts. It was not long before the sands of justice prevailed. After mutilating some bodies and a brief rest, they press on, soon discovering a light heading in their direction coming from this settlement. Choosing to hide in the mist and shadow, the party allows a single robed graying man to pass by them, lantern in tow, calling out into the darkness. As he passes by, the party emerge from their hiding places a safe distance away, and that is kind of where we find ourselves now. So,
All right, so we're quietly waiting to follow this guy, correct?
are you asking me or your party?
Yeah, I'm asking the party.
Yeah, I think it'd be best to follow from a safe distance, not engage.
I mean, we could always have a couple people hiding off to the side, but nearby, so we don't spook him, approach him with a large party of people that, quite frankly, look the fucking way we do.
Well, maybe we should have you and Logus actually following, since Gladir is about as quiet as dropping a platter of silverware.
That seems fair, and he's a poor liar, so they'll implicitly trust him. He's like a big teddy bear, so I'm fine with that.
And you're not attuned to your ring, are you?
Unfortunately, I don't believe so. No. Because I have my ring of protection, my sword, and my cloak of displacement. Unless I assume full damage on my rapier, I have to be attuned for that to work, right?
Yeah, you have to attune to the magic weapon for sure.
Okay, then yeah, I have my ring on. It's just not attuned.
Otherwise, I'd say you and Logus follow and report back when it's safe to walk out, but we can't do that right now.
I mean, does anybody room for anything that, does anybody have an attunement slot? Because I could suppose pass my ring to you.
I don't think I really have anything that I'm dying to give up right now. But I mean, Also, we would have to attune metagaming for a second. We would have to attune to it for an hour. So who knows
Fair
how
point.
far this guy could wander
We should
off.
just stick close. As long as we're reasonably close, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and they're kind of dumb. So like, as long as we, don't walk right up to him, I don't think he's gonna notice us. Of course, now that I said that, I'm gonna roll a natural one on stealth
Almost certainly.
and trip and throw an axe at his back.
You'll pop out of a bush and be like, "Hello, my name is."
Well, so wait, maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Is the guy that walked by, that's the one we're talking about potentially running into, right? He was or was not like the feral humanoids we ran
No.
into?
Oh
No,
no.
he's a gray guy.
Yeah, with the grain.
Graying. Gotcha. Sorry.
The
That's
humanoid we
the part
ran
I messed
into
up.
was those little ghost banshee type deals.
Fuckers.
Gotcha. Okay, yes. If it's with the graying, we definitely know we've tried that and tried it and tried it again. We never get jack shit from them, so we absolutely should just fucking avoid him.
Well, we were thinking of following because he's probably
Going back.
potentially
Yeah, I mean
like
we can follow him while still avoiding him.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like we'll all just stealth and put Gladier in the back.
Good plan. All right, yeah. So that works for me.
Does anybody have any oil or anything we could put on Squeaky over here?
It's not exactly the armor squeak together. It's I got 2 left feet. I kick stuff and trip and step on branches.
For fuck's sake, you got those fancy goggles. You can't look down at where you're walking.
Yeah, but then what if I run into something in front of me? I can't look up and look down at the same time. I gotta pick one.
You know what? If I hadn't spent the last several months watching you just constantly walk into shit, I really would think that this could be a problem that might be fixed. But I think you're just kind of predisposed to it.
Yeah, welcome to my life. All right, should we head out? We don't want to let him get too far ahead. I mean, Logus is here, so he could probably track him pretty easily if we lose him, but prefer not to waste any time.
Yeah, Renwick will look over at Logus and just be like, well, looks like it's you and me up front.
Logus, if you want to give us all of your gold, say nothing right now. Just stay silent. Oh, you know what? I think he owes us all of his gold.
I was really banking on him being here by now. I just wasn't looking in the chat. I guess we can kind of dictate what's happening, though.
Yeah, for sure.
You evil pyramid fingers.
So what's the plan moving forward? Is this kind of gray, gets he's maybe a block down the road or so past you guys, as he's kind of just looking about, calling every once in a while, calling out, hello. He just kind of holds the lantern out and moves forward. Hello. Holds the lantern out and keeps moving forward. A slow shuffle, but still.
I guess Renwick will look over at Logus because he didn't answer and be like, can you guys carry him or something? I'll just take point. And Blade, don't you you're pretty light on your feet. Do you want to stick maybe just a little ways behind me? Just so we have a second person up front.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a little light on my feet.
And yeah, I guess we'll we don't want him to get out of eye shot, but we'll try to keep our distance and kind of just tail this guy for a little bit to see if anything happens. I don't think we're gonna just follow him forever aimlessly, but you never know.
What if he just...
Never.
Go ahead, Blade. What were you saying?
I was going to say, well, what if this guy just takes off? I mean, do we chase him, shoot him? What are we doing?
I think we assess that when it happens. For all we know, yeah, he could just be wandering and heading eventually back the way we came or something. So let's just follow him for a hot minute. We'll see where he goes. And worst case, we turn back around and we keep going the way we've been going.
I'd also say we look to see where he's running from because I think he's too stupid to run from just anything.
Well, it seems like he's searching for somebody as opposed to running. He didn't seem like he was in much of a hurry.
Do you think I should have Archie stick with us, or maybe have him fly ahead and kind of have this guy in the middle of us?
I think flying ahead's probably a good idea. Then he can also potentially see if there's any structures that this gray might be going towards.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay, yeah. As you guys kind of head after this gray, kind of keeping pace. Now, who is all going? Is this just Renwick and Blade, or and I assume probably Logus?
I
think
guess
we're-
Logris and Gladier will be carrying Logus for the foreseeable future, and Blade and I will take point.
Okay, well, I do believe one of the very last things we did last session was a bit of a stealth check as this individual approached. And I'm pretty sure Logos had cast the spell Pass Without Trace. So go ahead and give me some stealth checks and be sure to add that plus 10.
Shit. I didn't even have my dice out. Alright, I'm trusting Avre for one roll. This is it.
All right, so we have pass without trace.
Correct.
30.
So I rolled a natural 1.
Shit.
To be fair, I also called it earlier.
Yeah,
I
that's what
did
makes
say
it
it
so
was going to
funny.
happen.
So you introduced yourself.
You need the lucky feet.
I do. Maybe I should get that instead of a ASL or ASI.
Damn, that's some pretty impressive stealth checks there, fellas. Except for you, Gladier.
Oh no.
So let's see. Okay, so as you guys kind of make your way towards this individual as they're kind of looking out, most of you are one with the shadows. However, Gladier just can't help but to clink and to clank as he shifts and moves, following the party, and this individual, as you kind of slowly stalk him away, stops, holds out his lantern in your guys' direction, and calls out, "Hello, hello," and he changes course and is now coming towards the party.
Could I maybe have Archie see if I could have him maybe almost like a distraction if he like kind of I had him fly up ahead a little bit to maybe like make some noise, maybe like rustling in a tree or something just to maybe kind of decoy a little bit away from Gladier.
Yeah, go ahead and give me, we'll call it a performance check.
Okay. With an owl that probably won't be very good. Oh, sweet Jesus. That's a -2. All right. Trusting my dice. Ah, for an 8.
With an 8, a bit of a hooting and whatnot, but as Archie kind of flies ahead and finds purchase and tries to make some noise on like maybe one of these houses that's kind of burnt up and charred and damaged, as Archie tries to make a bit of a ruckus, some of these skittering critters, some of these large spiders make note of Archie and begin heading his way. And before he can really land or make any sort of a scene. These creatures are upon him, and he has to return to you or be in combat with these rather large arachnids. And he doesn't get a lot off, and the arachnids are kind of loud as they kind of skitter up the wall, and it just completely muffles any of the anything Archie is able to muster.
Okay, and these aren't hopefully the invisible ones that disappeared.
No, you would notice that I believe it was Logos that noticed last session that some of the local flora and fauna tend to be fist-sized spiders or poisonous like thorny vines and things like just the typical Shadowfell wildlife.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Archie will just kind of take off. Maybe again keeping ahead a little bit, but not coming back and probably just giving up on his distraction.
Renwick is gonna look over at the gray and cast minor illusion and throw his voice and just say, "Who are you looking for?"
Okay, sorry. I got distracted and it was a little loud. I kind of lost about half of what you said there, Renwick. Can you hit me with that one more time?
I want to cast minor illusion to throw my voice 30 feet and just ask the gray who it's looking for. I'll roll stealth if you want. Basically trying to stay hidden and just see if we can get this thing to tell us what it was looking for before we turn around and leave it.
Okay, and what kind of an illusion are you throwing up?
I can just throw a sound. So,
okay, for sure.
I'm basically just gonna throw my voice like a disembodied voice toward this gray.
And once you hit him with this question, he stops, turns in a different direction, and holds the lantern out. Hello, anybody out there? You need a hand? I'm heading home. He kind of holds the lantern out and looks onward.
And I'll cast minor illusion again and throw my voice and just say, "Oh no, we're fine. Carry on home."
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
All right. Plus 3. 18.
He kind of confused looks out into the mist. Oh, okay, well, mist is bad, so you should find a place to be. I'll be seeing you. And he kind of turns and begins lumbering back down the street in the direction he was going originally, kind of away from the settlement. But he is holding out the lantern, and it is not but maybe a dozen feet away before he starts calling out again. Hello? And he shuffles forward a bit. Hello? And he shuffles forward a bit and just kind of continues down the road.
Well, do you guys want to follow him back to whatever he calls home?
Well, considering I think that whole thing about the mist might be a warning. Yeah.
Just making sure. And we'll continue to tail him. But I guess I'll look back at Gladier and just be like, maybe this time you take up the rear and we put a little space between us.
Yeah, maybe I'll step 10 feet back. I'll still stay in eye line of you guys, but I'll just move back maybe another 10 feet. See if that maybe the extra space grants me a little more grace.
Okay.
Can you want to carry Logos on your shoulder?
I'm not gonna carry. I'll carry him like a baby.
Even better. That is adorable. He
I
looks
just
so
cradled
small when he's
Logan
all curled up. And yeah, I guess we'll just keep trying to tail this thing. And for sake of brevity, I will continue to use minor illusions sort of as a metaphorical carrot to keep this guy like pointed toward home if I have to.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Duly noted there. As you guys kind of stalk this guy further, go ahead and give me another round of stealth checks.
Okay, no natural 1 this time. I rolled a 6 and a 5. Also, I forgot to mention before, my first, because I roll with disadvantage for stealth, I rolled 2 natural 1s.
That's a bad omen.
Boy.
Yes. But I rolled a 6 and a 5, so I got a 16 stealth check this time.
It makes sense that the holy guy would be the one that's like hard to hide in Shadowfell. But so as you guys kind of stalk this individual up the road, he seems otherwise unaware, and he gets up to a building. And this building, like all of the others in the village, is very run down and dilapidated and looks to be suffering a bit of burn damage here and there. It has no roof. It's missing, 2.5 of its 4 walls. And it's really dilapidated and run down. He walks up to it with the lantern and holds the lantern up to one of the walls on this structure. And as he looks up at it, there is a large, like, X that looks to be painted freshly. Like, it looks like some white paint was smeared on this building. He holds this lantern up to the white X and proclaims to himself, "Well, nobody out again." And then he turns himself around and begins retracing his footsteps, walking back down the path in the direction of the settlement. He does not seem to notice any of you as he passes. You guys kind of cling to the corners and the shadows, and you can see kind of what he can see as far as a radius. He is using a light source, and a lot of you are not. So you can kind of tell what he is able to see, what range or distance rather. You kind of use that to your advantage, and begin stalking this individual back in the direction of this settlement.
As we pass by, can I take a look at what this, like what's painted on this wall?
Yeah, go ahead and give me we'll call it an investigation check.
All right. Ooh, that's not bad. That's what is my investigation? +4. It's 16.
With that, it looks to be a hastily painted X. It's not particularly pretty or in any particular order, but you do notice with a 16 that this paint of this X, is relatively fresh compared to the building. So while kind of now a dusty, dingy kind of white, it's for sure is probably like a marker for one thing or another, but you're positive that this was placed here well after this building was destroyed. So
Hey, do you guys see any more of these? I know we're trying to follow this guy, but this this mark here's relatively fresh. Do you guys see any more anywhere else on any other buildings?
I haven't seen any yet, but if I'm being honest, it seems like this guy doesn't know how to get home if he came walking this way upon this door and just turned back around. So it might be worth inspecting this and not following him around aimlessly. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, can we I guess check out the surrounding to see, like, is there more than one entrance? What's the overall building look like before we inspect it further?
I'll give you the basics no matter what, but go ahead and give me some perception checks and see what you can figure out here.
23.
11. Swear, perception and investigation, I just always roll shit. Or perception and stealth.
9 for me. I did a plus 13 for Logus and got 17.
13 for Blade.
Okay, well, Renwick, it is your kind of check here that kind of reveals the most. So you notice that this is like kind of a fresh coat of paint, but the building itself is like unremarkable. It is mostly destroyed. In fact, the bit of paint on this wall, that's the only fully intact wall. There's no roof. Most of the other walls are destroyed, if not missing entirely. There's tons of like rubble in this, probably what used to be the walls and roof are kind of overtaken by these like really thick kind of spiny black vines. But as you kind of take a look and do a bit of investigating around the area, it's aside from the mark, this building is unremarkable in every way, even as far as the dilapidation goes. Like it's probably the most destroyed building in the immediate vicinity, and for whatever reason, you do notice that there are a lot of crow I guess I tipped my hand, but there are a lot of like bird droppings in and around the area, and from your experience here in Shadowfell, you have not encountered any birds yet.
I'm not sure if you've noticed, but quite frankly, there's a massive amount of bird shit everywhere, and not a single fucking bird. And that's a little creepy to me.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
It is a little unsettling.
Well, what's our next move? Do we follow this guy around and see if he leads us anywhere else of value, or do we take a look around this area?
Is there like a way to like tell like what they actually used to make this X or mark on the building, like what they used?
Would you? So, are you interested in like what kind of like material they use to like make this paint or dye, or like if they use like a paintbrush or a roller or both? I guess.
Yeah, just like if it's like paint or if it's blood or something. Just yeah.
Go ahead and give me. Well, this could come out a plethora of ways. So you tell me which skill you would prefer to use. You could use a medicine skill or a survival skill check. Either of those, a bit higher DC, but I would also accept like a investigation or perception.
Okay. So with survival and medicine, I would get maybe some juicier info, but with
I'll say it's a lower it's a lower DC for those skills for sure.
okay. Well, I'm just gonna roll with those. Either one is +2. So let's see. I'll just for the hell of it, let's go medicine. Nope. That's an 8.
Oh, what was it? Total 8.
Yeah, 8.
It's you're not positive that it's paint. It's been here a while. Maybe it's rubbing off. It's got a bit of like a chalky feel to it. Maybe it was chalk. You don't know. It could be either it's up in the air. It could be either way.
Can I see if there's any other, like, just do a quick walk around in the general vicinity, see if there's any other houses that have a similar marking or buildings that have a similar marking?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you kind of scout out a couple of neighboring structures.
14.
As far as you can tell, they're all pretty dilapidated. There's, most of these structures are missing walls and pieces and patches of roofs, if not roofs entirely. But this is the only one with that sort of marking on it, at least in this immediate vicinity.
Okay, and then so the gray came up to this house, called out to see if anyone was around, and then turned around and left. Is that what happened?
Essentially, yeah, he showed up and said, "Well, I guess no one's around," and then turned back and began retracing his steps.
All right, guys. So what if this is like a marker for him? Like he's on his patrol and he walks until he sees this X, and then that tells him it's his time to turn around and go back home. Because they're very simple. I mean, simple-minded. We know that. So they need clear, simple instructions. So what if it's walk to the X and then come back? What if this is the end of his route?
This building seems remarkable in every way, so I suppose we don't have much other direction than to follow this creature.
And it makes a lot of sense that they'd have to have a way for him to stop and turn around. Otherwise, he'd just keep walking.
All right, so you guys want to try and see if he leads us somewhere? Just keep on going with him?
Yeah, I think it's still our best bet right now.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, so you guys kind of hustle up and begin to restock this gray as he begins making his way back towards the settlement. Once again, let's get one final stealth check from you guys. He's not very aware, but other things in the Underdark might be. So roll high, or Shadowfell rather.
Sorry, 36.
Fuck, I was kidding when I said roll high. You don't have to hit 40. God damn.
I rolled a 17 and a 5 with disadvantage for a 16 total.
Good old Gladier. So I'm looking at like a 29, an 18, a 16, a 36.
Logus is snoozing in my arms.
Yeah. Well, his passive stealth is probably better than than your actual
Probably
stealth.
better than mine, yes.
Too funny. Okay, so as you guys begin kind of restocking this guy back towards the settlement, you at first you hear it, caw caw out of the sky, and a bird does land on like a nearby ledge. The gray holds the lantern up to kind of view this cawing bird, this crow, sleek black bird. And as he does so, he kind of calls out to it, "Well, nothing today, boss. Heading back." And the crow just kind of looks at him, almost acknowledgingly, and flies out, heads in the direction of the settlement.
Oh, that's not scary at all.
Well, it's a good thing Logus here has got us covered with Pass Without a Trace. Because it looks like he's got an alarm system, and I'm sure he's got quite a few grays down here. So I'm sure it's just going to get more and more populated.
After he reported to this crow raven type bird, did he just keep going off in a certain direction, or?
He's continuing to maintain course. He's making a slow and steady progress towards the settlement.
Well, we should probably stay out of sight of that bird, and I guess, I mean, we know he's reporting to someone, so maybe just keep stealthy and keep following.
Well, we can see how he would react to a possible challenge, but beyond that, I don't know. Like, I could throw out one of my illusion cards, it won't do anything, but we'd see how he reacts to it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of them being under the assumption that nothing fishy is going on. I think maybe not raising alarms just yet might be the safest bet for us.
All right, then we'll quietly sneak behind him until he gets to the settlement and figure out how we get in.
There it is.
All right, so just keep following along.
All right, yeah. As you guys kind of tail this gray, you notice almost immediately. The closer you guys get to this settlement, this like series of lights and torches up ahead, the thinner the fog and mist around you becomes. Visibility suddenly becomes a lot more clear and for a lot farther distance. And it seems that the closer you get to this settlement, the thinner the fog becomes. And as you guys kind of approach this settlement, following behind this gray, it appears that he eventually finds his way to a well maintained cobblestone street. Oddly enough, it doesn't seem to be suffering from dilapidation or decay or even fire damage from like the previous village that you've kind of been traveling through. You've been traveling through, what seemed like a village, but might actually be a city, because for the you guys traveled probably a little more than a mile, half mile, and it was just constant like dilapidated buildings as far as you could see. But for whatever reason, as the fog thins, the cobblestone street becomes visible, and you hear what sounds like the hustle and bustle of city life ahead. And with that, the gray that you guys are stalking eventually leaves the mist entirely, following the road into the settlement. And that's kind of where we'll leave you guys, on the edge of the mist, kind of looking in. So tell me how you proceed.
Hey, Blade, do you think you could send Archie and do just like a slow sweep of this whatever this settlement is high above and get a bird's eye view? Maybe see if they can see anything of interest.
I mean, I could certainly try. It's definitely less foggy here. I might be able to get a better look. Um, and Blade will kind of issue Archie out quietly.
Oh, wait, maybe we should. Can we check this? Can we all combine our eyesight? Because Glader can't see for shit. Or can one of us check the skies to see if there's more of those crows flying around? Because if we haven't seen a lot of birds, and then there's a random owl flying around that might set off some alarm bells.
This isn't just any owl. This is Archie, the best owl here in Hellfell.
Well, what I think we should do, and would do if Logus had his dice, is we all wait here while Logus goes to take a look from a rooftop. With his high perception, high stealth, hidden in shadows where he's disappeared.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Could we play for Logus? Does anyone have his character sheet?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine stealthing. How much longer do we have on Pass Without a Trace right now, Sean?
I would say you're nearing the end of its limits. Maybe down to several minutes, and that's it.
You'd also
Can I?
within 30 feet of Logus. Once you get away from that 30 feet, it drops on you.
Ah, shit. Well.
Because Pass Without a Trace is a self spell, and then it's a 30-foot radius from him.
Yeah. Can I can always scout ahead. I mean, I have at least 30 feet of solid stealth, and then I'm pretty sneaky after that, so I can try to take a slightly closer peek at this city area if we're seeing like standard city noises and everything, just so we know what we're working with.
Well, yeah, I'd say the four of us duck behind a crate. Just go take a look to see if we come walking out, we're not going to get pegged as soon as our shadow crosses or something.
Exactly.
Should we go on two fronts? Get Archie in the sky so we can get a broad strokes view, and then Renwick, you can scout ahead a bit, like get the ground view.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, man.
Oh, look. Logus woke up.
Oh, shit.
What great timing, as we are about to need to scout a city.
I drop him to the ground.
Yeah, a weird side effect from that spider bite from last session was, after a few, hour or two, you just kind of pass the fuck out. Been cradled and carried around for the last several moments, but yeah, only now recently coming to. Coming to in Gladier's arms before he drops you roughly to the ground.
What happened? Gladier, were you carrying me?
No, you just tripped and fell. You were sleepwalking this whole time. We were just, we're guiding you, and you just tripped.
I knew you loved me.
Yeah, shut up and get up here. I grab his hand and help him get to his feet.
All right, what's going on? What did I miss? How can I be of help?
Well, we found one of those grays, and we followed him back to a city. The mist ends at the city, and we need to get out of the mist. However, we came upon this crow, and when the crow landed, the gray said that he didn't see anybody today, boss, heading back. So we think that Amorphous is using the grays like a security system, and he's able to communicate through the crows, or at least watch through them.
I can try to capture one of these crows if we want.
I don't think capturing is the best idea. I think he can look through their eyes, so he'd see us do it. I think we just need to be careful, and I think you and I should probably scout this city on the ground a little bit while Archie does the overhead. Let's see if we can get a feel for what we're walking into before we just walk right in.
Yeah, we don't want to set off any alarms until we absolutely have to.
Right. Well, let's do it. And Logus is going to cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone, since he can get everybody.
Yeah, so you know the remnants of the Pass Without Trace spell were just kind of fading as you were coming to, as that was kind of like one of the last things you did last session was cast Pass Without Trace. So, as you guys kind of catch Logos up on the current state of things, what is the plan from here as you kind of hide off just in the mist as it kind of thins out? You know, you guys are still in the fog.
I think Logus and I are going to take the ground and try to just see what we're walking into and kind of like scope out the edges of the city to know, I guess, kind of gauge what's happening. And then if Blade can send Archie into the sky, get a bird's eye view too, if everybody is cool with that.
Sounds good to me.
For me.
Locris and I can stay here and guard Blade's body while he's warging out.
Okay, sounds good to me. So let's start with the ground party, I suppose. Renwick and Logos. Go ahead and tell me how you guys, I assume stealthily, or just going to walk down the road following the gray? Your call.
Oh, wait, before... Oh, wait, no, we haven't got a long rest. Before they go, I want to cast... Aid. It's a second level spell. Your spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increases by 5 for the duration. It's 8-hour duration. So give them a little extra boost. Actually, if I do it... Oh, no. Yeah, I'll just do it second level. So I'll do Renwick, Logus, and Blade or Lokers. Which one of you guys is more squishy?
Probably Blade.
Probably.
All right. Yeah, Blade. So Blade, Logus, and Renwick, you get 5 extra hit points to your max, and your current hit points right now also increase by 5 if you're below your max.
Thank you. That's fucking great. I will take every hit point I can have.
Right. Yeah, so he'll just kind of like stop them for a sec, touches medallion, and glows like a golden color, and just like 3 little beams shoot out, and just they glow a dim little golden light around their form for a minute before it fades.
Oh, you big softy. Trying to keep us safe.
Did you say you touch us down?
That's what I heard.
I touched... No, just get out of here. Go do your thing.
I mean, what's going to happen when I'm warged out?
You won't be able to tell. Actually, no, you can still feel things.
Yeah, he can still feel. You might as well at least make it worth his while.
Be a sensory overload.
Jesus.
You guys are killing me. Too funny. So, ground party. Logos and Renwick, I assume. So, tell me how you guys proceed. Stealthily? No, it's stealthily.
Definitely stealthily. Holy shit. Natural 20 for a 43.
Fucking hey. Very nice. Yeah, give me a stealth check there, Logos.
Okay. That's 21, 31. 21 plus 9 plus 10. 12 plus 9 plus 10, 31.
Very nice. So, the two of you swiftly and silently just kind of cut your way through the mist. And as you get closer to the settlement, the mist thins and becomes almost non-existent. And finally, you break the barrier to where you are no longer in the mist at all. And as you kind of look around, what you see before you. Actually, give me some perception checks, both of you, Logos and Renwick. I'll give you the basics no matter what, but let's see exactly what you guys spot.
That was a net 1 reroll for 17.
First and last time I use override.
Okay, so you guys, as you guys are going to run up to one of these structures, first thing you notice is the structure you run up to. While it looks a bit old and a bit dilapidated, this is the first structure you guys have seen since you've made it to Shadowfell that actually has all four walls and most of a roof. Though the windows look like they've been boarded up, one window looks to be still intact, and there is the warm glow of candlelight from within. As you guys kind of peek around this homestead that you guys are kind of using for cover, you see that you're in kind of a neighborhood. It looks like there are similar houses, separated by like a main thoroughfare down the center, and on either side of this road, there's just a bunch of what appear to be homes. They're not in the greatest shape. A lot of them are boarded up. But you do see candlelight in several of them, and not only that, you see people kind of coming and going. You watch as a gray, looks like a plump man suffering from the graying, kind of steps out of his house with a bit of garbage that he empties in a receptacle outside. He kind of stares off idly for a moment before snapping out of whatever daze he was in and heading back into his home. You see a couple other different individuals coming and going. All of them humanoid. Some of them, very very gaunt and pale. But for the most part, it seems like some average city life. You see a couple people holding hands as they walk up and down this boulevard, and you see shadows kind of move here and there across windows, indicating somebody's hiding within. But yeah, for the most part, you guys are kind of unnoticed. And if it wasn't in the Shadowfell, and some of these various humanoid individuals could very well be alive or not. You're not quite sure, but it seems like a normal town would seem.
Real quick, Sean, while they're off doing their thing, I'm just going to use my Pearl of Power to regain a third level spell slot.
Oh, nice. Good call for sure.
So whenever the next dawn is, that'll recharge.
Gladier, from the comfort of the mist, you sure do seem to be using a lot of your paladin abilities. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
God damn it. This fucking mist, man. Are you shitting me?
Do that once.
No, I didn't have to roll with disadvantage, so it was just one net one. That is my third one of the night.
Gladier, you feel fine. Nice and hale and hearty.
Of course I do. Jesus, there's another dice for Dice Joe. Motherfucker.
So, as you guys kind of guard Blade's warging body. Let's go ahead and get a perception check for Archie as he kind of does his thing, or maybe a stealth check. You tell me, Blade. How do you have Archie come at this?
All right. I'm definitely going to try to be stealthy about it because we don't see a lot of birds around here other than those fucking crows or crow. So yeah, I guess I'll just see how stealthy I am flying up.
Okay, give me a stealth check and then a perception check.
All right, stealth +3. Oh my goodness, 16.
Okay, and perception.
And perception. I do have keen hearing and sight, so I guess I have advantage
Oh yeah,
on checks.
very nice.
So perception is +3 with advantage. So that's an 11. 14.
As you kind of sail overhead and get a good look at what's going around, you do notice there are seems to be a lot of crows hoovering over this city. You know, almost like looking like pretty natural, looking for carrion and things. But there does seem to be an odd amount of crows in and around this village, kind of doing the kind of vulture circle around it. But aside from that, it's kind of more of the same. You see a lot of these dilapidated buildings, but they are in significantly better shape than the ones prior. But less burn damage. They still have some boarded up situations here. Some of them might have a hole in the roof here or there, but it's relatively small considering most of the other buildings were entirely roofless. And as you kind of get a good aerial eye view of it, you also notice like a bit of farmland that has encroached through from like the mist. It looks like it continues outward into the mist, but from what you can tell, there are these small black shrubs. It looks like just like twisted, gnarly old bark coming out of the ground, and of all of these little bark bushes that have been planted, only a handful of them seem to grow like a single leaf or a single berry, and these crows seem to be ravenous. As you watch these very kind of withered and weakened crops, the crows seem to constantly be bickering or cawing or outright playing like tug of war over like the last green leaf or last red berry that they could pluck off of whatever this mostly dead plant base seems to be. But aside from that, you don't notice anything above and beyond what Renwick and Logus have discovered as well.
Okay, gotcha. And I this town or settlement, is this place like walled in, or is it just kind of open?
With a good bird's eye view, you would have been able to tell that it's almost like the mist itself is acting like a wall. The mist, for whatever reason, completely engulfs this large portion of this village or town, but acts almost like a wall at a certain point. There is not any point in this village where the perimeter is not mist. The village is entirely surrounded by it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So with that I'll probably bring Archie back down, um, stealthily if I can, and try to, and then I'll relay the info over to my team.
Blade, as you come back, Locris, Blade, give me some perception checks.
22.
From me as well, you said?
Yeah.
21.
Oh, good. Well, the DC was a whopping 10, so you both crush it. A familiar red mist has begun to reform around Gladier. He seems unaware. Gladier, not aware of this red mist, you have taken about 40 points of damage.
Dispel magic.
What the fuck?
You've got red on you.
What? Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I've just got a weird feeling in my stomach here. Is it? Is there more blood like before?
Very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah. I cast Dispel magic on him.
As you do so, once again, this cloud of blood red fog just kind of disconnects and then becomes almost pink as it begins to dissipate. And only a moment after, a slight sprinkling of red blood covers Gladier, Blade, and Locris.
So maybe you should do like Clogus said, open your mouth and drink the rain.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I mean, appreciate you helping me again. God damn, what is this place? It hates
I
me.
wonder if taking off your medallion would help. Maybe if you sinned a little bit.
Quick, do something evil.
Yeah, but then I don't know if I disconnect in that way. What if I can't help you guys later with my magic?
I'm just saying, don't show your decal. Maybe that's how it knows, is it's feeding off your medallion. You can still be connected through your heart, but just put the jewelry away.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I wouldn't want you to get the holy equivalent of whiskey dick. Not down here.
Yeah, maybe if I just put it in a pouch on my hip, then at least it's not visible. But actually, no, I'm just keeping on to hide it behind my. So I'm just gonna like tuck it underneath my breastplate instead of like, because normally I'll like just have it like open, over around my neck and like over my breastplate. So just sitting on my chest. Maybe I'll just tuck it underneath my breastplate so it's not clearly visible.
Okay, makes sense. Good call.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if this helps. I'm not quite sure, but it can't hurt.
So as Archie returns and Logos and Renwick, do you guys want to press your venture further in, or would you rather return to the party?
What do you think, Renwick? My father always told me that if you do not risk it, then there is no biscuit.
Ah, funny. My father said the same thing. Yeah, we'll push a little further in. Can we specifically try to like maybe peek in a couple windows and just verify that everybody around here is a gray, or are there any signs of more sentient life?
Yeah, if you want to pop into a window real quick or peek in through a window, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
$16.
With a 16, as you kind of peek into this window. Hold on, I gotta roll a die real quick. As you peek into this window, you see what appears to be a woman in modest clothing. It's a bit frayed, it's a bit torn, it's a bit stained. She has a single candle placed on a nearby table, and she seems to be nursing a small child, a babe, as she doesn't look very hale and hearty. She's not very. She's kind of scrawny. Her face is a bit sunken in, and she's got like a very pallor type of complexion. She's very pale, but for the most part, from what you could tell, she does appear to be human, and she's just kind of rocking her baby as she stares at the single candle that's on the little tabletop she has. It's a pretty small home, but yeah, for all you can tell, she appears to be a living, breathing human.
And she appears to be like gaunt, but not graying. Correct.
She is very pale, but more like a living human, still pale, not the plumpy gray kind of hairless humanoids that the graying become. She actually has some long kind of shiny silky black hair, and though she's looks definitely as a pauper, definitely wearing some kind of dirty and dingy kind of frayed clothing, does appear to be a human.
All right, noted. And I'll keep moving forward, just making sure to keep Logus in eyesight in case any weird shit goes down.
Okay. As you guys kind of creep forward, go ahead and give me some more stealth checks as you make your way through this little area.
$38.
I don't know why I even ask.
That passed without a trace, man. It's clutch.
And Logos, what is your stealth?
Renwick, you might have to cradle him like a baby.
Oh yeah, he's eating that good grub from his old lady.
Sorry, I'm back. What was that? My dad had called me.
Stealth check for you.
All right, I don't have my dice yet. I'm gonna use a right. If Renwick had to carry me, would that be still check at disadvantage?
No, not quite. Very nice.
27.
Okay, as you guys kind of creep forward farther into this little village town, whatever, you kind of see more of the same, but this, as you kind of press farther in, you notice, people going about their day. People don't seem to be walking the streets, at least not alone, a whole lot. The people you do see are, couples, sometimes small groups of individuals kind of walking with one another. They do appear to be living beings, but as you guys kind of press on inward and look on, it catches your eye. You see, without a shadow of a doubt, a skeleton, completely in the nude, with the exception of like a leather satchel across its chest. It looks like it has like a tool belt and even a kind of a bit of a mostly just cloth material that like represents kind of like a bandana that has been tied tight on its head. And this living skeleton just kind of casually walks down the road, belt full of tools and whatnot, to looking and acting like a normal citizen. And as you guys kind of look around the scenery, you seem to be in some sort of neighborhood. A lot of these houses, a lot of the structures around you seem to be houses, and but off in the distance, on one side of the road, behind this series of houses, is a really makeshift kind of shitty fence. and on the other side of it are these like black gnarled little bushes that seem to be mostly barren. On the other side of the road, just past all this bit of houses, looks to be like an old rusty iron fence, and on the other side of which appears to be many gravestones. Looks like a few statues, and in the center of this sort of graveyard, there is a large cathedral, steeples and all, kind of stretching out into the sky.
Well, definitely take note of that. uh, I'm gonna head over to Logus and just say, how much further do you think push into this city? The cathedral looks like a pretty good starting point for meetings that might have some information.
Oh, right now, without the others, me and you are pretty much shadows. I mean, it will take something very special to see us. I mean, I'm all for pushing forward if you need to.
Why don't we head back to the group? We'll just make ourselves look shabby, pretend to be villagers, and try to just bring everybody with us. We'll head for that cathedral.
If you want, I mean, if I can disguise myself and try to push forward.
I don't want to push too far forward. We have no way of communicating with the group. Something happens, we're proper fucked.
I could always shoot off a fire arrow into the sky. I'm pretty sure they'll get the alarm, but
You'll also alert everybody else in the area, and we know that the crows are watching.
I'm itching for a fight, man. Let's go. No,
I know you're itching
right.
for a fight, but for fuck's sake, there's skeletons walking around. We don't know what the fuck we're gonna
We
encounter
fought
down here.
dragons. You're scared of skeletons. We fought dragons.
I'm not scared of the skeletons. I'm scared of what else is down here. We've already come across some pretty fucked up shit, and we've only been down here for like a day.
All right.
So yeah, we'll head back and pick up the group, and then be sure to make ourselves into like shabby looking villagers. Like put our hoods up and maybe little dirt on the face. Try to make ourselves blend in so we could all walk through here.
Okay, yeah. You guys head back to the group, and you guys all kind of meet up. Once reconvened, tell me how you guys kind of proceed. You guys are all back together, kind of using the mists to kind of conceal yourselves for the time being, just outside city limits, rather. So, kind of tell me how you guys proceed.
So, what did your elf eyes see?
We saw skeletons. We saw a giant cathedral. And we saw what seemed to be a village of some sort. Renwick wanted us to possibly make ourselves look like downtrodden villagers to kind of blend in as a way to move forward.
Well, that doesn't sound like a bad idea to me.
Yeah, I can dirty up some people's faces. The right shaper ought to make people look more gaunt than they are.
Yeah, if you got a disguise kit or something, go ahead and give me like a sleight of hand check and see if we can't throw some disguises down.
Yeah, I also have like a traveler's clothes, which includes like an ample cloak and hood. So I'm just gonna like rub that around in the dirt, just make it all gross and nasty, and just put that on.
One thing you notice about the dirt in Shadowfell is it is very much like it is black and sooty and almost like rubbing things in ash. Like it's almost like you just threw your cloak in an old fireplace. It's like super dusty and almost like white now.
Well, that's comforting.
Damn.
That's a 21.
With a 21 sleight of hand, Locris does a number. He's got like a disguise kit, busts out a little bit of, some, a bit of black smudging here, a bit of, a white powder for contour there, and bam, like, he pretty successfully makes the lot of you look the part, look like some rundown villagers.
And I'm going to wear my hat of vermin, since it already looks beat up.
Very nice. So thoroughly disguised, what is the next step?
I think we're going to make our way toward that cathedral we saw in the fenced-in graveyard.
Yeah, it sounds sort of ironic, oxymoronic.
It also sounds like it could be the source for whatever's holding this mist back.
Excellent. So, as you guys kind of make your way towards this church, are you heading using the as you guys did a little recon, there is like a roadway and a path that leads to the church. Are you just taking the common routes now that you're disguised, or are you going for like stealth checks?
I'd say
Imagine that we want to take the common route to not stick out, but also really try to not stick out.
All right, yeah, true. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yes.
So you guys make your way in, just kind of how similar to the gray that you could kind of stalked through the mist. You just take this cobblestone pathway, and as you guys kind of emerge from the mist, you might catch a glance or two at first. You're pretty sure someone staring at you guys through a slightly cracked door gets a glance of you glancing at them and slams the door quickly. But aside from just the initial glance or two, you lot seem to be otherwise unobvious. The crowd seems to be oblivious to your true nature. So as you guys kind of make your way through this mist and to this cathedral, go ahead and the lot of you give me some perception checks.
Natural 20 for 25.
Damn. 15?
21.
Got the 17 for Logas. What did you roll out, Renwick? 16?
Yeah.
All right, so, well, I guess I kind of have to give it to Locris because he just nailed that nat 20. Locris, as you're making your way through this village, you notice a lot of things right off the bat. There are these kind of they're humans, or humanoids rather. Some of them kind of look maybe half elven or even dwarven, but are human. But they're all very slender, and they seem to be like dark hair, dark eyes, and they're all kind of pale and gaunt, but they do appear to be like living humanoids. You see them coming and going about their business, but you also immediately notice that there are undead doing similar tasks. There are zombies that seem to be, less the shambling mound of evil flesh coming after you. And they look to be, wearing boots, pants, a nice button-up shirt. and they are kind of walking down the pathway, doing similar things. Some of them taking out the garbage, and another sits on a porch and takes a long drag off a pipe. Though their clothing is still kind of run down and pauperish, like some of the obvious like peasant types that are wandering around here. And as you kind of continue to go through, you see more of the same. You see, a specter looks like it comes out to maybe like check its mail, but it doesn't open the door. It just glides through it, and none of these beings, these undead entities, seem to pay you guys any particular mind. As you kind of make your way through this, you do notice that about half of the living humanoids in the immediate area are grays. It's about a 50-50 split. These really slender, kind of gaunt human, elf and dwarfen types seem to be living side by side with their very opposite, kind of plump, gray, hairless humanoid types, as they are kind of grays. And as you make your way towards this chapel, this cathedral, there's like this rusty iron gate that this like iron rod gate that or fence line that goes all the way around. And as you approach the gate, it's open, and the gate itself looks to be damaged. It looks like a lot of the bars have been bent outward, and the gate is kind of run into the ground. It doesn't look like it opens and closes much more anymore, but is permanently wedged in the open position. And it is from the just outside this gate, as you kind of look in, you see the grounds clearly. And it looks destroyed. Like, all of the headstones are cracked or broken. There are what appear to be a few statues in the cemetery. They are look to be like of a woman kind of holding out like her hands in like a kind of a reverent gesture. But you piece that together through several different statues. There's like one statue's missing both arms, another statue's missing the head, another statue's cut off at the waist entirely. Like, it just looks destroyed. Not only that, but there is graffiti everywhere on the headstones, on the different statues and things. And it's all in a variety of languages and a variety of colors and paints, and some of it might even be blood. But as you look forth, as you look past all of this, the cathedral itself looks pristine. The windows are all intact. The tall spires just kind of reach out into the sky. And not only that, but the large wooden double doors that seem to show the entrance. One of them is ajar by about a foot. And that's kind of what you guys see at the edge of this cemetery. So tell me how you proceed from here.
Hey, I'm going to be AFK for a bit. My youngest is throwing up.
Okay, for sure.
Well, guys, should we just walk on in and see if anyone's home?
Well, you're sort of our moral compass and holy man, so it's probably best that you lead the way there. I'll get your back.
Yeah, I'm sure the divine gods and the Shadowfell gods have a lot in common. All right, let's go. And Glado will just kind of take point and presumably walk confidently into this cathedral, even if he is a little wary.
Okay, yeah. You make your way towards this cathedral, and party in tow, or are you guys kind of letting him be an emissary, or how's that work?
I'll go in with him for sure.
Yeah, Blade will follow.
If it's single file, I'll be right behind. If I can walk next to him, I will.
I want him to walk in carrying me like I was injured or something, like a fallen angel type.
Logus jumps into your arms.
Logus, you can walk just fine. Come on now.
It's getting cold, Gladia. Take me to the cathedral.
I just drop him.
I'm like a cat. I like cling to him.
What?
So,
I'm just kidding.
I don't even know. Glader would just keep walking like he's just like, when like a toddler grabs onto your leg and you just kind of like walk awkwardly as they like lifting them as they hold onto your leg and just do that into the fucking cathedral, I guess.
okay, as you make your way into this cathedral, Gladiator, go ahead and give me a religion check and make this one with advantage as you kind of make your way here.
Okay. Alright. For a paladin, I have shit religion, which is pretty funny. But advantage helps. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 16. Could have been much worse.
You nailed that, DC. As you kind of are coming up into this chapel, Gladiator, you realize that this is a chapel a chapel dedicated to the Dusk Mother. The Dusk Mother, also known as the Lady of Penance. This demigod, rather, you would know due to this deity is one of Pelor's many daughters, and you would know that from the holy symbol of the lady holding out two hands, in a divine gesture.
Okay, what was her name again?
She has many names. The ones you would know her by are the Dusk Mother or the Lady of Penance.
Lady of Penance. Okay. So I guess with everyone kind of following him in tow, Logus literally in tow as he drags him forward. Uh, kind of looking around. Guys, I think pretty sure this is a chapel to one of Pelor's many children. Lady of Penance. Yeah, it doesn't sound too good. Can't remember too much more other than that off the top of my head, but maybe just tread carefully. I mean, penance is all about justice, and yeah, just be careful. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest. And he's just gonna kind of look around and see if there's I don't know, any priests or anyone in here at all.
As you kind of enter the chapel, it seems kind of oddly empty almost. There are a few benches that look to have been destroyed, like a few pews that are been moved to the back. They look to either have degraded over time or been destroyed by whatever. And as you kind of make your way in, you notice a lot of like individual shelves where there seem to be these like clay pots, these like clay urns. They each have a candle burning near them, but the walls of this cathedral as you walk in are just covered with like hundreds of these clay urns. Down the center aisle, there are a few pews that are still intact. There is a statue intact. Unlike the ones in the cemetery that were destroyed and graffitied, there is a statue of a hooded woman holding both of her palms up towards like the congregation or whatnot, with her head down and her eyes closed. And kneeling before this statue, you see a man in full plate armor, his head bowed, and he seems to be just quietly muttering to himself. But he is the only person in the cathedral at the moment.
Glader's gonna kind of nudge Locust and just be like, get up.
But why? And then he'll reluctantly let go.
Guys, should we confront this person? Hello there. Are you the head priest? I mean, you have full plate armor, so maybe a little more than a priest. You
Ho
walk
there,
over.
traveler! He stands up and he turns around. He's a very, very big man, a big human. And while he wears full plate armor, he does not have a helmet. This gray, his face is a grayish blue. He has like a huge kind of a white beard. And as he turns to look at you, a large portion of his like bald head is actually flayed open. You can see this man's brain, and it is rotting. And he turns to you. "Oh there, traveler! Welcome to the home of the Dusk Mother. It is not often in Raptor we acquire new citizens. Welcome. Ha! Pleased to meet you. I am Father Sweeney." And he holds his hand out to shake your hand. Gladiator, your fucking undead detector, whatever it is, even without using your ability, going off hard. This man is clearly an undead of some kind. He very much resembles a zombie.
I think Glader will, against better judgment, reach out and shake his hands, but he's very on edge. Like he's prepared to kind of. Actually, can I even hold an action? Like reach out and shake this guy's hand and just prepare an action in case anything hostile happens?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I want to hold my channel divinity turn undead. If only if he like makes a hostile action. I realize it's only 6 seconds, like one action. So like, but just in this initial course of him making physical contact with me, he's gonna like have that prepped in his head.
Okay, as you touch his very cold and clammy undead hands, you guys briefly make eye contact, and one of his eyes is a very bloodshot but piercing blue color, and the other is completely gray and pupilless.
It's
What
my
brings
name.
you to the Dusk Mother? How may I be of service?
My name's Glader. These are my friends here. We're
Oh,
actually
excuse me.
looking.
Oh, he puts your hand aside and goes to shake the hand of each and every party member, and he introduces himself every time. "Oh, hello, Father Sweeney. Oh, yes, hello, Father Sweeney. Hello, Father Sweeney." Just introduces before turning back to Gladier. So, what can I do? An adventuring party for the Dusk Mother works in mysterious ways,
Yes. So I'm actually somewhat. It's a complicated relationship, but somewhat of a father or a follower of the Dusk Mother's father, Palor. So I'm not sure if there's any sort of a Actually, before I said, would I know if there's any sort of in that remembrance of the Dusk Mother earlier? Would I have known if there was any sort of animosity between father and daughter?
You would know that while there's not animosity, the Dusk Mother doesn't claim the realms of like life and protection and things like that. The Dusk Mother's domains are more natural, dealing with things like death and decay. So she is definitely more in the neutral category than the lawful good category as far as deities go.
So do I have a feeling like it wouldn't gain me favor, but it wouldn't hurt me either? Kind of like just neutral ground. If I
Yeah,
said,
yeah. Not enemies, but not necessarily allies either. Completely different
okay,
deity. What do you call it?
gotcha.
Motivations, I guess, and realms.
Okay, yeah, then I would have said that. Just I'm a, like I said, a complicated relationship, but I'm somewhat of a father of, or follow. God, I did twice in a row. Follower of the Dusk Mother's father. Uh, but we're actually looking for a certain uh, entity, so to speak. We have reason to believe that they're in this realm. We're curious if the Dusk Mother might have any sort of guidance on finding a finding this said entity.
Well, I guess that would depend on what entity you're looking for. Whom or what may Dusk Mother may see fit to guide you.
Uh, Side note, I again cannot remember what Locust's patron's name is. What is the
Jurassic Raven.
Jurassic? Yes, Jurassic Raven. Well, we're looking for a certain Jurassic Raven.
Drassic Riven, the former Lord of Shadowfell. Yes, legends abound, but where he is, who knows? Perhaps the Dusk Mother.
Former Lord. You said, when was he the Lord of the Shadowfell? And when was he
He's
disposed?
been the Lord of Shadowfell for as long as I can remember. But, I don't know, the last, 50 years or so, have been amorphous perch.
Shit. God. You said amorphous. This
Yes, the Vampire Lord.
he
Quite,
was
quite the plight on the people of Shadowfell, but apparently a necessary evil, one who the Dusk Mother does not approve of. He kind of, you see him, the air around him at the mention of amorphous perch kind of becomes cold, and little ice crystals begin to form on his beard as he kind of looks wild-eyed off in the distance for a moment, and seems to just suddenly snap out of it, and the ice shards fall from his beard to the ground. He says, "Oh, yes, hello, traveler. My name is Father Sweeney. What can I do for you?"
Father Sweeney. Are you feeling all right?
Yes, hello. He reintroduces himself to the entire party. Yes, hello. Hi, Father Sweeney. Yes, hello. He goes down the line and reshakes all of your hands. Yes, nice to meet you. Yeah.
You were just an absolute pleasure. I think Renwick is actually enjoying this encounter a lot.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you as well. My name's Glader. These are my friends. We're actually looking for a friend. Not a friend, but a entity of sorts. Jurassic Revan. Do you think you can point us in the right direction. We understand the Dusk Mother might be able to provide some guidance.
Yes, we should ask the Dusk Mother for guidance. Please, give me a moment. And he kind of walks over to this little, like, kneeling bench, lights an incense, and begins to pray. And continues to do so for, what, a minute? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 15? 20? Just praise.
I think during that time, Glader, like the moment he like kind of like sit, like maybe after like 2 minutes have passed and nothing has happened, he's gonna turn around to the group and maybe pull them off to the side, like maybe 5, 10 feet away, and discuss in whispers. So what the fuck is going on here? The moment he talked about Amorphous, first off, Amorphous is the fucking Lord of the Shadowfell and deposed Locris's patron, who was formerly the Lord of the Shadowfell. And then the moment he brought him up and said anything bad about him, he just forgot the past 2 minutes of his life and reintroduced himself. Like, that can't be some weird coincidence, right?
Yeah, but life is kind of a stretch. I mean, can you have a life if you're undead?
Okay, it's semantics. Let's get past that and move on to the problem at hand.
You know, I wonder philosophically, what do they call it when you're undead? Do you go on continue living or just being?
Logus, that is a great question. Maybe we can talk with old Sweeney over there later. But right now, I'm kind of freaking the fuck out.
Well, do you think that his memory loss might have something to do with that injury on his head? I mean, it seems kind of strange.
Yeah, hey, Gladier, ask him what happened to his head.
Surprisingly, that was. I should have asked that. Yeah, I don't know why I did, because it's kind of just blatant right there in the open, right in front of your face. Uh, yes, I was a little bit shocked to hear all that other information. Uh, I don't know. I still find it weird that he was perfectly fine and coherent until the moment he spoke a bad word about Amorphous, and then all of a sudden the air got cold, his fucking beard froze, and then he resets.
Maybe that just happens. Just ask him about something else and see if it happens.
Well, if it's the Dusk Mother's power that's keeping him alive, then perhaps the mere mention of the name just sort of rattles the energy, and so maybe there's not much to it aside from like it's almost as if you can't speak his name in her presence.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the important part is we know for a fact that it is Amorphous that's controlling the crows and the crays, and we know that he's taken Drassic, or at
Yeah,
least knows who has Drassic. Maybe he made a deal with something or someone to take down Drassic so he could step in and just take over. But we have a direction to go in now. And we know there are living creatures around here, so perhaps we just keep moving through the city and maybe we'll happen upon someone that might have a little bit more information.
yeah, we have a direction, but not a literal direction. Yeah, let me. I kind of actually want to try something. I think I want to try just a quick little reach out to the gods. If you guys don't mind waiting 5 minutes, I don't think asking Sweeney here again anything is gonna help. He's been praying for 20 minutes now. hasn't moved an inch. I don't think he even knows we're here right now. I think he just reset again. But I think Glader's gonna, I guess, walk up and kneel down next to Sweeney, right in front of the Dusk Mother's statue. And he's gonna try. I don't know if I should try and pray to the Dusk Mother, who I have no connection to whatsoever, or pray to someone else. Fuck it. Glader's gonna try and reach out to the Dusk Mother, hoping that his connection to Paylor, who has a connection to the Dusk Mother, will somehow maybe cross those boundaries. Yeah, I guess he'll just kneel down and let's see. Yeah, I've never really reached out to you before. Oh, great Dusk Mother, but yeah, I know you don't deal in the same realms as your father, but I am somewhat of a follower of him, and just reaching out for a little bit of guidance. See, we're looking for a way to take down this Amorphous, this man that invaded the Shadow Realm, invaded this place that you somewhat reign over, I'm assuming, and is plunged it into chaos, and not the good kind of chaos. And we're seeking him out so we can take him down. But in order to do that, we need to find the former Lord of the Shadowfell, and we need to free him. So if there's anything you could do to help us, point us in the right direction, any information, even just a location or a general area that we can maybe find Jurassic Revan, we would be in your debt, and it would also be helping you, I believe, from what little information I've gathered from a random priest in your cathedral. Amen. I think that's how I end it.
With
Yeah.
that, you can go ahead and give me a religion check with advantage as you kind of reach out.
There we go. 18. Really is just perception and stealth. I just fucking can't do it.
As you're kind of saying up this prayer, now do you say this in your own mind, or are you actually saying these words?
I think I'll say it out loud. I'm not like shouting or anything, but I'll just like normal, kind of mid lower talking volume range.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
shouting, but whispering.
As you kind of have this moment, as you kind of reach out, Father Sweeney kind of leans in and he whispers, "Well, she told me to tell you that the former Lord of Shadowfell is where he always was. The Dark Tower holds all of the Lords of Shadowfell, past and present and future, in one way or another. By the way, hello, adventurer. My name's Father Sweeney."
Uh, Thank you, Father Sweeney. That's information is extremely helpful. Is this dark tower a literal dark tower? Like, can we see it if we walk outside, or is there like north, south? Do you have north, south, east, west here? I mean, you don't really have a sun to guide by. Can you just
Oh, there
in a
is the
direction?
sun, and you're just in time. Look. And he points to like the stained glass window. And no sooner than does he do so, does like a dull red light seem to shine in. Dull at first, but it does get a bit brighter. But yeah, all of the windows begin to glow a deep, dark red. He turns back and he says, the blood star rises. Time of the Dusk Mother. And with that, a loud bell rings off in the distance. Once, twice, on a third time. And then, out of these many urns that are all over the walls, each of them covered with candle lit in each of these urns, several of the candles, several dozen of these candles, snuff out immediately. Poof, 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 poof. They begin going out. And from the urns in front of them, ash seems to climb out, almost as if it is like a physical like form, like a hand or very squid-like tentacles. These dozens of these little ash forms begin to crawl down the walls to the floor of the cathedral. And before your eyes, dozens of individuals begin to form in front of you from the ash. Some of them fully armored. You're looking at knights wearing full, like some shiny full plate. You're looking at what appear to be several scouts wearing some decent hoods and cloaks. You see a variety of weapons. Warhammers, bows, various other swords, daggers, and whatnot. And many of these individuals just sort of appear. And though they are all in, all different shapes and sizes, some human, some elven, some dwarven, some dragonborn, tiefling, etc., one thing that they all have in common is that they are all undead. They are, a large portion of them are zombies. They have obvious gaping wounds that should be fatal. Some of giant wounds to their head or throat. Some of them currently still impaled with several ethereal arrows. Others appear to be completely ghostly, like specters as well, ethereal in nature, as they just kind of drift about. And you even do notice a couple of full-blown, like, sentient skeletons. They look to have adorned themselves in some loose-fitting shirts and, some tight leather breeches strapped to their hip bones with some, a fastened bit of, like, belt and leather and hooks and things. But essentially, out of nowhere, this entire cathedral fills up with undead. And not only undead, but they look like undead warriors, undead adventurers, undead of all variety and types. And they all come and sit as Father Sweeney begins lighting a few incense. He rings a bell. He lights a series of candles and begins some chants where the crowd eventually also picks up and follows along. And Father Sweeney and this entire undead crowd seem to be mid-mass, if you will, praying to the Dusk Mother.
I think Glader's gonna tap on Father Sweeney's shoulder real quick and just be like, "Can just really fast? Can you just point me, just literally, physically, just point in the direction of where this dark tower would be, and then we'll leave you to your prayers and your worship, and we won't bother you."
He kind of turns and whispers under his breath, "Oh, don't worry, child. The tower is in the same place it's always been. It is the center of Shadowfell, always and forever. Never moves. Same place. You'll find it. Also, well, there is a visitor section By the way, I'm Father Sweeney. And he shakes your hand.
Nice to meet you, Father Sweeney. Thank you very much for all your help. That's greatly appreciated. We're just gonna quietly leave you to your worship. Thank you so much, and we're gonna get going. And he's like slowly backing up and just kind of like pushing everyone behind him back towards the door.
As all that was happening, I feel like Renwick would have just kind of like looked around awkwardly and joined in the ritual and just pretended to pray like everybody else.
Too funny. Yeah, you're kind of going at it, Renwick, and as you kind of try to mimic their praying and ritual, one thing you notice that you don't have that they all seem to. Almost every member in this church at the moment seems to have a copper mask kind of hanging loosely around their neck. But each of these copper masks is very plain, just two eye holes and a mouth slit. And aside from that, no designs, nothing too fancy, just a smooth piece of copper. And it does appear that every member of the congregation has one of these masks.
Could we roll religion or arcana to see if we know anything about what those masks could be tied to? Like, is it the symbol of a god or a cult or like force?
So let's see. I'll say religion, arcana, or you could probably even work a history check into there. Your call.
Could I roll an insight into like their behavior? Do they seem like they're worshiping, or is this some kind of gathering that they do, like just off of like their body language?
Yeah, you can definitely give me an insight check.
Can I roll with Renwick on his, or give him advantage or something?
Yeah, your call. You could give him advantage or make your own roll.
I already rolled and I rolled an 8. So
I got
you might
a
as well
20.
make a separate roll.
I got a 26 insight.
With a 26, what are you trying to glean exactly as you kind of study this crowd and their practices?
Like, are they do they seem to be worshiping the Dust Mother, or do they seem to be here for something else?
It would appear that they are all here to worship the Dusk Mother, for sure. With a 19 on Arcana, Gladiator, I'm going to give this one to you. You recognize this mask as the one of the Dusk Mother's many attributes, many accolades and things. You kind of recall back. The Dusk Mother is the lady of, also known as the Lady of Penance, and so there are times where people who may or may not want to turn their life around find their way to her. And so through acts of penance, she restores or cleanses their being and allows them to move on to whatever afterlife they so choose. But she is kind of she's neutral, so it's not necessarily a good nor a bad aligned type of situation, but she is known for those in her servitude, those enacting these feats of penance in her name are often made into revenants until their task is completed. And you would know that this copper mask is a holy symbol to the goddess and a symbol that these are all servants of hers. These are all, every member of the congregation wearing a copper mask is in fact a revenant.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, so he'd keep on like kind of pushing everyone back behind him towards the door, like just like maybe not like, especially once realizing that they're all just like worshipers of her and they're like seeing what they're doing. He'd just kind of like turn around and just be like, "All right, guys, let's go. These are all just followers of the Dusk Mother. We should. I think we got a location, and I think we should probably get there sooner rather than later. I can fill you in on some more information once we get outside, but I'd rather not interrupt the worship service of the goddess of penance and yeah."
As you say that, the chant kind of dies down and a murmur begins. People begin talking with one another, and Father Sweeney calls down the aisle, "Hi, travelers! Father Sweeney. May we accommodate you?" And several people kind of look back and stare, kind of awkwardly. Many of them begin donning their copper masks.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, let's get out of here. It's kind of like grab, circle, like wide arm, push everyone at the door.
Okay, yeah. You guys make your a decent exit as people kind of watch you curiously, but then turn back to Father Sweeney and his sermon and whatnot. But as you guys kind of exit this cathedral, you find yourselves in a very destroyed, graffiti-covered graveyard with wrought iron fences at its edges and this somewhat hustle and bustle of the city. Outside of that, for the first time in Shadowfell, the sun is up, or what they call the sun. What he referred to as the blood star is roughly, it is a large star and it is blood red. It puts like it sheds the whole area in this like kind of red hue, but it does shine a bit of light onto the village. And as it does so, you guys notice that the mist retreats a bit farther to reveal some of the more destroyed, dilapidated houses and things that you guys had experienced before, but also a lot more of the farmland. A lot of this, like, these gnarled patches of gray, black, like rooty bushes. It seems pretty barren. It seems kind of not the most fertile of crops, but as you guys kind of come out and see the star up in the sky, you notice that a lot of the undead that you saw walking the streets earlier seem to be scarce. But what is going down is a lot of not the grays necessarily, but a lot of the actual humanoids, the living humanoids, seem to be coming out of their homes, and many of them go and venture, and it looks like they're digging through some of the nearby ruins. Others are trying to tend to what they can in the crops. Some, go and check various traps and things that were previously hidden by the mist, small snares and whatnot. But you do see like the village kind of come to life, though these are some gaunt, kind of skinnier, pale types of humanoids. They are still alive and still have needs like farming, eating, bathing, gathering water and things. And you see them all kind of going about that now.
All right, so Locus, I'm not sure what you caught in there, but just to catch everyone up, Morphus seems to be the new Lord of the Shadowfell. Well, your patron was the previous one. So I'm guessing Amorphous somehow figured out a way to lock him up. Uh, and the Dusk Mother is not really a fan of that. But while I was praying, I mean, she didn't talk to me directly. I didn't hear anything. I felt I was very compelling and humble, and I thought she might speak to me. But apparently, she wasn't a fan. But that's fine. It's okay. But she spoke to Sweeney, who spoke to me afterwards and said that the all the lords of the Shadowfell, past, present, and future, in some form or another, are in the Dark Tower, which resides at the center of the Shadowfell. So I don't know exactly where the center of the Shadowfell is. It didn't really give me direction, but at least we have a name of the place where we want to be. Just need to figure out how to get there.
Well, now that the ghouls are going to bed and it seems to be mostly people alive, maybe we can talk to them and get some information.
Yeah, it's not a bad. I mean, someone's got to know where the center of the Shadowfell is, right? I mean, there's
Or at
someone here.
least know who to talk to. I'll grab the first person I see.
And Glady's gonna grab Blade by the shoulders and shove him towards Locris in the first person Locris sees.
Okay, so Locris, you guys walk to the road, get out of the cemetery and back to the hustle and bustle of the village, and you grab a scrawny farmer walking with a broken hoe. It looks to be mostly intact on the tool end, but the stick is a bit short. Looks like it's been broken. And you grab him and stop him on his way by, and he flinches. He's like, huh? What's going on here?
Excuse me, we are trying to find the center. Some dark tower. Maybe you know where it is.
Never left Raptor in my whole life. Can't get around the mist. Excuse me, mister. I gotta get going. He looks at you kind of in a panic and straight out sprints down the road, kind of clearly in fear, away from you.
Okay, so that might not work.
Yeah, Locris, I don't see a lot of tieflings around here. Maybe they're just kind of scared of. I mean, I'm not. I don't care what you look like, but some people might be a little. Your little horns, and I mean, they're not little. They're very impressive horns. I'm just gonna shut up.
You insult him at every turn, Gladiator.
He said that he can't get around the mist. So I'm wondering if that's keeping a lot of the alive people here. Although, thank you for your sensitivity.
You're very handsome. I'm sorry if I offended you.
All right, so do we just flip a coin and wherever the head on the coin is looking, that's the way we go?
Well, what if we send Archie back up? I mean, it's a tower, so it's gotta be. I mean, if it's a literal tower, I mean, it's gotta be tall, right?
I mean, if anything, there were plenty of other living folk in the surrounding area, so we could just look for the next, set of living souls and kind of just make our way. I mean, if we move deeper into the city, that seems like probably a decent direction.
Wait,
We also don't know how big Shadowfell is. So just like we wouldn't see a tower in Borsland from Brightswood, we might not see a tower from here if it's a good 2-day travel.
what if we ask one of the Greys? I
I
mean,
don't think we're going to get reliable information from a gray. We've had pretty poor luck with that in the past.
what if we? Yeah, I mean, they send them on patrol, but there's no guarantee they know where the tower is, and they're kind of fucking stupid. Yeah.
All right, Gladiator, you go talk to a gray. Renwick, why don't you talk to one of the alive ones? We'll just kind of walk and look to see who looks important or knowable.
Works for me.
I could speak with a spider or something, an animal of some sort.
There you go.
Just not a crow, because they might know a little too much, and they might give us away.
Yeah, crows be snitches.
So I guess we're looking for a important looking alive person in gray
Okay,
or animal.
give me some perception checks, each of you. One of you for a gray, one of you for an important living person, and one of you for an animal? Question mark.
Natural
a crow.
20 for 25.
I shit you not, I got a nat 20 for a 28.
I got a 16 for a 17 for a important looking gray.
I got 13 for a total of 25 for an animal.
Very nice. You guys all went in some random ass directions. Blade, how about you?
So okay, so we're each rolling perception for an important looking.
Correct. I'm gonna go through each and every single one of you guys real quick, but hit me with a number for a perception
All right,
check.
perception.
I can also speak with a plant.
Yeah, look for an important looking tree or bush.
I got
Sometimes you
a
find
23.
lips in a bush.
Okay, so we're gonna. God damn that!
Maybe you'll find a
You guys
beaver in
had
the
some
bush.
pretty good rolls. Fucking. Let's start with Blade. 23. Blade, who are you looking for? You looking for a living person, maybe a shell, maybe a creature of some kind? How do you kind of go about gathering a bit of info?
I think Blade would definitely lean towards looking for someone that was very much alive.
Okay, with the 23, you notice that a lot of the farmers seem to be using the daylight, taking advantage of it. So the mist gets pushed back a bit, and they reveals more farmland. So they all kind of head out. But there is a significant portion of people who stay behind. Not only graze, but you notice a couple of things. They seem to the people left behind are kind of sitting on their porches, maybe sipping a coffee or a bit of wine or puffing on a pipe or something. They all kind of seem a bit older, the ones left behind, and they all seem a little bit better dressed, but a little bit in I mean, it's still frayed and stained and kind of dirty clothing, but it's just like higher quality. It looks like to have like popped collars and several fancy gold buttons here and there, even though they're tarnished and whatnot. So as you kind of take eye on these kind of older, better dressed folks, another thing that they all seem to have in common is missing limbs. One's missing a hand. Another seems to be walking on a peg leg. One seems to be down an ear. Another down an eye. All of them seem to have some sort of amputation or deformity of some kind. But you do kind of spot these people. So, how do you proceed?
I guess Blade will kind of just walk up and, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't want to be like too, like obvious, or I don't know, like, uh, to seem like too out of place. But I guess, whatever. He'll go up to maybe the gentleman with the peg leg and say, well, good, good morning, I guess. And kind of look around.
May the Dusk Mother keep you. We're not buying, Sonny. We don't need nothing. You can go along now.
You may not be buying, but maybe you're selling. Maybe information.
Well, I imagine everything has its price around in these parts. What do you need? Got anything to trade? Hadn't had meat in a few days.
Well, I'm so sure we could drum up something here. But first of all, if I may, where are we? What is this place?
You're not from here, huh? Well, figures. You're in the great town of Raptor. Welcome. Sorry about. I'm not gonna roll out the mat or nothing, but he like hawks a big loogie. Well, that's about all the information you get for free around these parts, youngster. Why, you got something to trade?
Well, I do have some rations if you're looking for food, but I've also got some coin. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Yeah, give me both of those. Yeah, I'll take both. Give 'em. He holds a hand out to you. One of his hands missing a finger, you notice, but he holds his hand out, palm up, expectantly.
Blade will pull out a few, maybe some pieces of like jerky or just some dried meats and uh, berries, and kind of put them into his hand, and maybe helping him cup it, so because he's missing a finger. Yeah, here you go. And give him, I don't know, 30 gold.
Holy fucking shit, Margaret! Look at this. And he kind of turns, and the old lady kind of pokes her head out of his nearby window, and he tosses her a couple of coins. And, yeah, there you go. What do you need to know, youngster? And he pockets the coins and immediately smashes the food. Like eats as anything you give him, he tries to eat in a single bite and begins like gnawing and drooling on himself.
Blade will kind of, um, well, you've pretty much called it out, and you know that we and my comrades here are not from around here. That being said, we are looking for a certain place. Have you ever heard of? And he'll kind of try to be discreet and lean in and just say, "The Dark Tower." Have you ever heard of it?
Blade, I'm just gonna need you to give me a straight luck check. Just give me a raw d20.
11.
As you say this, he immediately becomes defensive. He's like, I'm not going with you. I'm not doing that. You can get out of here right now, Margaret." He stands and like feebly, his legs kind of shake, but he does everything he can to get away from you. Like he went from okay to having a casual conversation to very scared, kind of frightened. And, "I'm not going with you. You can stay the hell out of here. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm just a humble farmer. I'm going to enjoy my time here." And he slams the door in your face. "Margaret, close the window." He seems rattled.
Blade will kind of, and maybe just try to make amends a little bit. He'll just kind of maybe like approach the door, just lightly knock and be like, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't mean to trouble you, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Perhaps could we just talk a little bit more?" And he'll pull out a few more rations.
Give me a persuasion check, but with disadvantage.
18?
He just kind of starts going into a bit of hysterics. He's like, I don't know what you want. We're old. We're not going to be shells. Or, there's plenty of other peoples around here. Go bother some young folks or something. We don't need any vampires around here. I'm sorry for the disrespect, but you're not welcome here. Do not come in. The curtains slowly close, and you hear what you imagine to be a like boarding up of the other side, like a very sounds like they're barricading the door with a very hefty bit of wood.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. And he'll maybe leave like an apple at the doorstep.
Okay. As you step away, Gladier, what was your score?
I'm pretty sure I got a 16, I think.
Yeah, that sounds
But I
about
wanted to amend what I was looking for.
right. Okay,
So
what
I
were you looking for?
originally I just said important looking gray. I want to look for keep the same concept, but I want to look for just add that the gray that we were following here had a lantern or a torch, correct, to light the way.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I want to look. I want to look to see if there's any gray that is holding a lantern or a torch as well, because I'm assuming the only ones that would have that would probably be people who are venturing outside into the mist. So I want to just include the light source in my 16 perception roll.
Okay, go. You also go ahead and give me just a straight luck check. A raw d20.
Raw d20. Roll it off the table, and I'm not going to try and find that die, so I'm going to roll another one. A 19.
Yeah, you see a. It looks like not too far up the road. You guys are kind of in this like residential area, but it looks like as you kind of look up the road a bit, there does appear to be a graying or two. Somebody suffering from the graying, and one's got a torch. And he seems to be looking at like a notice board, and another is kind of looking, tinkering with a lantern, but it's not actually lit, as it is kind of daytime.
Okay. Are they like you said? There's two of them. So one is looking at a notice board. One is tinkering with a lantern. Are they kind of like close by to each other?
Yeah, within arm's distance.
Okay, yeah. So I would just walk up to um the two of them. Just be like, hi there. What are you guys doing?
The one holding the torch. Keep in mind, he's holding a torch to read a piece of paper in the daytime. It's not dark, and he's holding a torch. He looks to be looking at this notice board. He says, "I'm just teaching myself to read. What are you doing, my brother? There, he's fixing that there contraption." Guy kind of looks up. Yeah, I'm gonna put my lizard in here.
I was just curious if you guys knew where the Dark Tower was. Just a general, just point me in a direction of the Dark Tower.
Dark Tower. Well, I know. Hey, Billy, you know where the Dark Tower is? No, I can't say that I do. See, yeah, maybe one of them vampire types. Sounds like something fancy they like. Darkness.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Vampire. Where are the vampires?
Well, they're over there. And he points down the road. You know, They got a hangout spot. They don't like grays to go in and around there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And just forget you ever saw me.
Wait, who are you again?
Bye. And I'm just gonna turn and leave.
Okay, for sure. As we kind of move down to Logos. Logos. What was that check, and what are you looking for? I believe you said an animal of some kind.
I forgot what I rolled. I think I rolled like a 25 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I had that. I had something like that written down. Actually, I didn't quite square your names away, but none of you did really bad. So, but yeah. So what do you imagine type of critter or plant or what? Can you tell me how do you go about this?
I'd come across the first lively looking thing, either plant or animal. Um, Preferably animal since they get around some. That doesn't seem like it's trying to take my head off right away.
So some of the local critters, some of them seem to be kind of vicious-looking insectoids, like at least out in the mist. But here, you do notice a plethora of crows, as well as it looks like a bunch of hairless rats. That seems to be the most prevalent animals in the area. But with a score in the mid to upper 20s, you would also notice, the occasional stray dog. Looks a little lean, a bit bony here and there, but also, the occasional black cat. So you kind of have a plethora of animals to choose from. Aside from that, most of the vegetation seems to be these black gnarly roots, these black gnarly bushes. They're mostly barren. They occasionally produce a single leaf or a single berry, but for the most part, they're not. They look very famine-ish, famine-y.
Do the crows look, do they seem to be like perched up watching, or do they just seem to be doing crow things?
uh, Give me a survival check to determine what you know about crow things.
I'd say something. I know a lot about crow things. That is a 9 plus 8, 17.
They seem to be, for the most part, wild crows, but you do notice some peculiar behavior around a crow or
Hey,
two.
Sean, you sound like a robot on my end.
Sorry, is that any better?
Oh, okay, hold on. Let
Testing,
me fix my
testing.
mic then if that's me. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're coming through clear on me.
Okay. Well, yeah. Testing for Logos. Testing. Calling all Sturge. Calling all Sturge.
Sturge fucker here. Not. Nah, sound better. I guess I just had to maybe
Amazing.
turn it off and on.
The callbacks. Beautiful.
So you do notice that for the most part, are you mic coming in all right? You good? You good? You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, all good now.
Okay. So for the most part, a lot of the crows do seem to be doing normal crow-like things. But there are several crows in and around the area that have like suspicious behavior going on. You know that the crows are relatively intelligent and that they can kind of communicate with one another, but you get the distinct feeling that there are several crows in the area posted up around, particular maybe homes or just places of interest that look to be acting as like sentinels. They're lookouts. They are more akin to blades Archie than the wild crow.
Could I try to get the attention of a normal, what I that I picked out from being um, the sentinel crows to an actual like normal crow?
Yeah, you want to pick out a normal crow? It'll be all too easy,
So I like maybe sit at a bench or something. I don't know what's here, and kind of like act like I'm feeding birds. And once a crow comes up, I'll cast animal friendship on him first, and then follow that up with a speak with animals.
Okay, yeah. If you're using some of maybe your rations or like a good berry or something to lure the crows in, they come in all too willingly. And, a couple of spells later, you find an open means of communication with this crow. And as you kind of begin the process, casting these spells, communicating, what do you say to the crow? What do you ask it?
Hello, my friend. Don't be alarmed. Um, well, I come in peace. I'm just trying to make conversation, and I like throw him some food as I say it.
It squawks, squawk. Food is good. Food is good. Not many living beings feed crows.
Well, I tend to know that crows are some of the smarter creatures. What can you tell me about those? Can you tell me anything about those weird acting crows over there? They don't seem to be one of your kind.
No, they work for the humanoids. They're partners, allies. Not a very beneficial one. Seem like slaves.
Are they actual animals, or do they seem to be more magical based?
They're like us. They look like us. They sound like us. They don't eat. They don't sleep. They don't drink. They are not us.
So, my friend, do you know how these crows come to be employed by these humanoids? Do you know where we can find the people who are hiring these crows or
The
using these crows?
crows just come out of the mist. Some of the humanoids, they are crows. When they want to be.
Hmm. So the humans can turn into crows and then turn back, huh?
Not humans. Bloodsuckers.
Vampires?
Yes.
Thought so. Have you been out of the mist, my friend?
Good food, dangerous.
What's on the other side of the mist?
Nothing. Mist, it never ends.
You've been a big help. One last question. Are you familiar with something that the humans call the Dark Tower?
It's a bad place. It's a bad place. And then the crow flies off.
Oh, damn it. All right.
Moving on down.
Well, I'll keep feeding.
Go ahead. As Logus continues to feed the local birds. Locris, what was your score and what were you looking for as you go about to gather a bit of information?
I rolled a natural 20 for 25.
Oh yeah,
And I was looking for any person that looked semi-important, who probably knows a little bit more than the others.
A living being, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. So as you kind of are looking about, you do notice that it looks like a young woman in a dress. It looks to be mostly clean. It's even white, which is unusual. Everything around up to this point is very dingy looking, most of the clothing rather, but she has like a white dress. It's a little bit frayed, it's a little bit smudged with some soot and some ash, but she also has like her hair done up really nice and a little bit of like a tiara, and she peeks around. You see her just kind of look out of like an alleyway, and she like looks both ways, like she's kind of looking for somebody or waiting for somebody, and then she kind of leaves the alleyway with a bit of a brisk walk. She heads she hits the main thoroughfare, the main road, and in very fancy shoes and even a bit of flashy jewelry, she begins a brisk walk up the road away from your direction.
I try to catch up to her in a not I'm gonna run you down sort of way. Just yell, excuse me.
She kind of flinches. She's like, "Oh, I'm terribly busy. Can I help you?"
Yes, my friends and I just rolled into town, and stunning sights, by the way. We're thinking about getting a rental. Anyway, we're told we really needed to get to a place in the center of Shadowfell. I believe they called it the Tower. You wouldn't happen to know where that is, do you?
Yeah, the Dark Tower. It's like the center of. It's like vampire headquarters, basically. It's that's. I'm heading down to the Red Curtain right now. I was hoping to maybe finagle a bit of some vampire affection. They said they'd turn me if I kept showing up and doing good, and I mean, I'm trying to get up the hierarchy. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody knows Black Tower is where the current Lord of Shadowfell reigns from. Amorphous Perch, and he's the bigwig. Maybe if I play my cards right, get like a seat in his council or an advisor or something. I know I'm worth it. I just got to prove it to him. I got to get to the red carpet and start making connections now, so I can get there and get out of trouble and poverty.
That is the best way to go about it. You wouldn't happen to be able to point out the way, would you? I got a meeting with Amorphous. I have a special delivery for him. I really gotta get dropped off.
Her eyes kind of go big. She's like, you know Amorphous? Can you put in a good word for me? Can you tell him about us in Raptor? How there's a lot of good folks, a lot of good potential. We could be vampires. We could do what we need to be done.
I can't if we don't get there, so help me out.
I've never left Raptor. I don't know the mist. You don't leave Raptor without permission from the Duke and Duchess, and they rarely grant it to outsiders or insiders even. Last I heard, it was a unique privilege of some of their upper tier soldiers, spies, and maybe messengers even. All the more reason why we gotta join up with the vampires. You want to join me? I'm on my way to the Red Curtain. Where we're gonna go have a drink, maybe two. See if we can't network. You want to come?
I'd love to, but I really do have a delivery for Amorphous. He left some of his most prized wine behind, and if I don't get it to him, then they're not going to be nice and turn me. They're going to chop off my head. Sure, you can see my situation here. We said the Duke and Duchess?
Yes, the Duke and the Duchess. Duke Baracus and the Duchess Nayla.
Oh, wonderful. I actually met them about a month ago, I'd say. And, they were the nicest people. Been really meaning to catch up with them again.
Right? They're cool. They can like fly and shit, and I watch them scale a wall once. It's fucking incredible. I gotta get to the Red Curtain. Are you sure you don't want to come? Mortals drink free.
Well, where can I find the Duke?
I mean, he's around, but I don't think he's left his manor in some time. They don't like to leave. It's I don't know. When they
Oh,
first took over, it was different, but now I bet you it's been years since I've seen him. We assume in the manor, but nobody's really brave enough to go and check. He's got a bit of a temper.
I'll go check. Just point out his manner, and I'll make sure they're right as rain.
You go up the road here, and there's a fork, and you take it to, and then another fork, and yeah, she kind of gives you some rough directions to where the manor would be.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And best of luck in getting that bite.
Thanks, you too. She kind of skitters off.
And then I'll go find the others.
Okay, so moving on down, Renwick. What was your role, and who and slash what are you looking for?
I got a nat 20 as well for 28, and I was gonna look for uh, maybe any sort of like, I don't know, merchant, or I mean even somebody like posted up on a corner begging. I'm looking for somebody who probably has a decent lay of the land and like how things function in this town.
Okay, so you walk a bit up the road and you come to like a fork in the road. It looks like you can, take a sharp right and continue down one road, maybe meander on like a lazy northern path. But as you come to this fork in the road, nonetheless, you see two buildings very much unlike the others. One of them is more of a structure. It looks like a bunch of like how you would picture like booths with like cloth like tent like roofs and things, but it's very kind of run down. While there's dozens of booths, there's only two, maybe three actual vendors in this dozen of broke down booths type of an area, but it does resemble a marketplace, though there are very few people actually in the market, both buying and selling. Next to this little batch of marketplace booths is a large two-story building. Most of the shutters have been drawn shut, but the doorway appears to be almost like one of those Wild West types where it's just on two hinges. Doesn't seem like the door ever closes, and there is a warm glow from within. And atop this doorway, scratched into the wood, it just says "stands." And aside from that, these two buildings seem to be the local businesses at least local businesses in the immediate vicinity that you could tell.
So remind me the name of the first one. It was Stan's.
It just says stands. Like the name stands is carved above the doorway, crudely, and then there is just like a bunch of decrepit like market booths, but two or three individuals still seem to be maintaining a booth, but most of them are run down, covered in cobwebs and dust.
I'll head to the booths and I guess just try to speak to one of the remaining merchants.
So, of the three merchants, one is a man, two are women, but all three are grays, and they have a variety of goods available. One looks to have some various trinkets. It looks like a bit of broken glass, a couple of door hinges, a door handle, a bit of rope, a handful of like nails, screws, a hammer. Another one of the grays seems to have a variety of like fabrics, There's like most of them not the best quality. You can clearly see stains and moth holes, and the third seems to have like some various maybe locally collected like flora. It looks like various twigs, a few patches of herbs and like that have been dried and pressed together. Various knickknacks of that nature. But between the three of them, very humble situation. Not a lot of out of the norm goods here. In fact, quite the opposite. So almost everything you find here is subpar. A bit of rope, a tool, the what foods and herbs are available. It's all low quality.
When he approaches and he sees that it's all grays, especially given his history with grays, he just rolls his eyes and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And he just walks up to the closest one and he just says, "Oi, how long's it been this slow around here? Doesn't seem like many of you guys are doing too well selling your wonderful wares."
Well, it's usually pretty slow, but it depends on when the blood star goes down. Farmers that don't farm well, they might try to trade.
And when's the last time you saw the Duke and the Duchess? Did they come down here often to shop at your wonderful establishment? As he looks around at all of the knickknacks.
Vampires, they don't like shells like me. They don't talk to us. They avoid us.
So, do the vampires invite the people that are not shells to their tower? Or is there something that comes down and brings
Yeah, hold
them
on.
to the tower?
Tower? What do you mean tower? What are you silly? They just drink at their bar. They don't let grays in their bar. They don't let us shells in there. But they let the regular mortals drink for free there. It's how most of us shells are made.
Oh, and I assume this to be Stan's.
Stan's a good shell. He's my best friend.
And before he was a shell, I assume he ran the tavern?
Yeah.
That place with the nice light down that way?
Stan runs the best tavern in town. At least that's the only one grays are allowed to drink in.
So there's a vampire tavern and a gray tavern.
Yeah. The other mortals, they drink wherever they want, but they don't let us into the red curtain on account of the vampires don't really care for us. But Stan's nice. He lets us in, gives us some food and beers, and it's a nice place. You wanna go meet Stan? I'll close up shop.
I actually, in a weird way, might take you up on that. This has been surprisingly helpful. Can you repeat the name of that vampire bar?
It's the red curtain.
Well, thank you kindly. If you don't mind, we'll need to retrieve my friends shortly. We'll swing back by, and you can take us to Stan's. I'll meet you back here, and I'm gonna walk away and go reconvene with everybody.
He just kind of watches you leave longly. He says, "Bye." So, as the lot of you have all done a bit of reconnaissance on your own and kind of reconvene, as you do so, how do you guys proceed from here?
I go meet with back with the group. So I spoke to a crow, and They he told me that the tower's bad, one, and two, some of these crows are, I guess, used by the vampires to keep watch, and also the vampires themselves can shapeshift into crows when they want to.
Oh man, I thought we mentioned not to talk to crows. I don't. Hopefully, the one you talked to wasn't a vampire, just in disguise.
Well, crows being bad, or not crows, the tower being bad is not a surprise. I talked to a lady who's trying to become a vampire, and she said that's Vampire Central.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of Greys, and they pointed me in the general direction of where the tower is, and he's gonna just gesture to whichever direction the Greys pointed him in.
I also have good news and better news. So apparently we can maybe get through the mist, which is what would slow us down to getting to the tower, by getting a special pass from the Duke and Duchess. The Duke and Duchess are some old friends of ours.
Do
Baracus
you have
and
friends?
Natty.
Oh, those aren't friends. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, it
Sarcastic
was
here and
only
there later.
it was
Well, you
only a
know what?
matter of time before we ran back into them. I think we kind of knew this was coming. We knew they were the left and right hand for Morphus, so it'll be nice to run into them again.
Yeah, I mean, we did accidentally burn a couple, I think an entire family alive trying to kill them. So it would be nice to get a little bit of, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Revenge?
I recall no such situation. However, uh, they did try to kill us.
Oh, yeah, no, that has weighed heavily on my conscience for the past month.
We just don't talk about it and pretend it never happened.
All right, well, I mean, we've got a general direction of the Dark Tower. We've got a way to get the path through the mist. We know the vampires are there because of the crow, and we know to watch out for crows because of the crow's gossip. Um,
Well, I mean,
what else?
also a group of crows is called a murder, so you should watch out for them anyway.
Yes, we should always watch out for murders in all sense of the word. Uh, yeah, we figure anything else out?
Well, I figured out that the vampires have a bar called the Red Curtain, where they let any humans in and they can drink for free. Presumably, they get them drunk, and the vampires probably feast on them and get drunk on their blood. But they don't allow the Greys in. The Greys have their own bar called Stan's, and there's a surprisingly helpful Grey that offered to walk us over to Stan's so we could, I guess, meet Stan and have a drink. It's probably a good place to lie low and plan our next move.
Yeah, I talked to a lady, the one who told me about the Duke and Duchess, and she was on her way to the Red Curtain. She's hoping that if she shows up and helps a lot, she said, that they might turn her.
So
But she
she's
might just be being helpful by being a freaking blood bank.
Well, it's best that we avoid the Red Curtain for now. I mean, they've probably been warned of what we look like. If, you know, the heads of this operation are three people we've severely pissed off recently.
Yep.
well,
So,
yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, Renwick, though. I mean, if we hang out in the one place we know the vampires aren't going to go and just get some rest in, and then
Yeah,
maybe
I
go,
doubt they're spying on Grace.
yeah, if we can, possible little safe house, we can just chill out there, get some sleep, recover, and then go fuck up the Duke and the Duchess.
and we already have our disguises on, so if anything, we can just pretend to be Greys. That actually might not be a bad idea. if we're hanging out in the tavern. I mean, we can talk amongst ourselves normal, but best to lay low and not raise any eyebrows that we're new in town. Can't imagine they get too many new visitors around here, so we'll stick out even to people that aren't looking for us.
Quick question. I'm going to keep my hood real far over my head just in case, but pretty sure I know the answer to this. Have we seen any dragonborn greys? Pretty sure the answer is no.
No, dragonborn or most of the greys seem to be of the humanoid variety of like humans, halflings, elves, half elves, dwarves. The very human looking humanoids
Yeah.
seem to be the ones suffering from the graying.
I thought so. Well, I mean, I got a big old cloak and a hood, so I'm just gonna draw that real far over my head, try and keep my face in shadow. I'll keep my hands tucked in like monk style, like my hands in the sleeves of the other arm, and just try and hunch over and just not look like a giant scaly thing. Aren't you guys glad I don't have a tail?
Nope, still weird as hell.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
it
I'd
really
prefer,
freaks me out.
I think I'd prefer you to have a tail. I mean, you'd look more dragon-like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very strange, to be honest.
Fuck these
surely the
guys on the
balance would be.
stands.
Gladiator's got a high constitution too. He's got buns of steel, so he's got a plump rump.
I've got a pump rump.
Pump it up.
So as you guys kind of make some plans, tell me how do you guys proceed? You guys gonna head to Stan's, the Red Curtain, burn the whole town down? You tell me.
I go to the center of town and turn unholy. Just kidding. I don't.
Just ring a bell, holy
I am,
warrior.
I am
Yeah.
kind of low key, kind of sad that all of these undead people actually seem nice because it would be pretty dope to just turn divine turn unholy on a whole town. But they're actually not mean people, so kind of buzzkill there. Anyways,
Yeah, I think the plan is to go try to find kind of like a reprieve at Stan's. So I guess we'll allow that merchant to escort us to Stan's so that we can pretend to be Greys and just kind of lay low and plan out our next move, find a place to rest.
Okay, yeah, for sure. You guys go and fetch this gray from the market, and he, for whatever reason, tries to hold Renwick's hand and walk in. I'll take you. And he walks you over to.
I give him the tentacle hand.
He seems not to notice. He takes you over to Stan's, and he walks right into the swiveling doors. Hey, Stan, got some new customers for you. And as you guys kind of enter, another gray, a very fat, kind of pot-belly gray, kind of waddles out the back. Oh, thanks, Sir Stephen. He kind of nods. He's like, there you go. I introduced you to Stan. And Stephen kind of gives you the salute and then goes and sits down at the bar. And Stan kind of turns and looks at you a lot. And says, well, welcome to Stan's. You need anything? And as this kind of pot-bellied gray steps up to the bar, you notice behind him a bunch of dusty barrels of ale. Looks like he's got some sort of kitchen in the back. You can tell from here, from the various stains and piles of dirty dishes. It's probably not the greatest, but as you kind of look around, there's another gray, aside from Steve, sitting on the other end of the bar, drinking a beer. There is two sentient skeletons. They look to be sitting in a corner, puffing on this a pipe, sharing it back and forth, and playing some sort of dice game. They're one rolls and the other rolls, and they're like keeping score on with these little tokens and whatnot. They're playing some sort of game. And aside from that, there is, it looks to be a pair of humans, a couple, a man with some sleek brown pants and a nice shirt. Though it's all tucked in and nicely kept. It is a bit frayed and a bit stained. And sitting across from him is a woman dressed in kind of a common blue dress, also a bit frayed and a bit stained. And she's wearing a wimple on her head, and they seem to be having like a bit of a hushed conversation. And Stan kind of walks up to you guys. Well, you need a bit of booze or some food? What can I do for you?
I'll take got any whiskey?
You're supposed to be gray.
Yeah,
And Renwick will look at him and go, my
Whiskey?
friends and I would like drinks and a bed to sleep. Multiple beds.
Bed. Sleep.
Okay.
Whiskey.
You got something to trade? Some money? Some coin? Something good?
How much coin you charge for beers and beds?
Sleep. Beer.
One money.
One money. And I'll, like, at this point, I do feel kind of bad, and I'll put down a gold piece.
Oh, you got good money. All right. Room's upstairs. Nobody's using it. It was my room, but I've been sleeping in the kitchen lately. It's more closer to work.
More closer to midnight snack. And I'll just like nod and get my beer and shuffle off to some quiet table.
Yeah, as you guys, Stan pours you guys some beers. It is the most watered down ale ever. It is very, very weak booze and very, very watered down.
Are there any like bottles on like around, like of like liquor, or is it
there's
just straight?
several like wine bottles behind the bar. It looks like he has a wine rack. Several, like a couple dozen bottles are missing, but there are several like dusty wine bottles.
I dumped the beer out of my glass, and I'm going to take some of that special wine from my wineskin and pour myself a small snifter.
Well played. Classing it up in the Shadowfell. Nice.
Glader just kind of like clumsily point like a couple of the bottles and just be like, "Can I have those?" And then just put a couple like 5 silver onto the counter.
He, stands, agrees. Yeah, all right. But he very laboriously counts out your silver. What? 1, 2, 3. And as he finally counts it all out, he pulls a bottle of dusty wine. This dusty bottle of wine off the shelf, and he turns to you. Well, corkscrew's broken. I didn't get a new one yet. You want me to open this for you and pour it in a glass, or you just want the whole bottle?
Bottle's good. Bottle, I'll take bottle.
All right. Well, he kind of looks around briefly, and then rather than pop the cork proper, he just kind of smashes the top of the bottle off of the wine. clatters to the ground behind the bar, and he hands you, 90% of a bottle of wine. Now, shards of glass sticking up out of the top.
I kind of just hold it. I'm gonna put 5 more silver down. Another bottle. Don't break.
Oh, you want a road beer? All right, I got it. He hands you a full bottle,
Yeah,
completely
road.
corked.
Yeah. Thank
One,
you.
2, 3. He goes back, counts your coins, and puts them in his pocket.
I'm gonna take the unopened bottle and just shove it under my arm and walk away with the shattered not half shattered, but the broken one, and sit down at the table and I'd start waterfalling it into my mouth and maybe pour some into the others' glasses if they finish their watered down beers. Yeah, just be a little careful. There might be some glass shards in there, but y'all are hefty adventuring types. You should be fine with a little bit of glass, right?
Renwick's just gonna take a swig out of his own flask, push the beer away, and pack a pipe. Kick back.
All right, so should we come up with a game plan for tomorrow? With this, he kind of looks around and just leans in close and kind of whispers for the Dutch and for the Duke and Duchess. We need a game plan going in. Yeah, I know the end goal is probably to get information to kill him, but
Well, we
Well,
just gotta get in. Maybe we'll get lucky and they're throwing another dinner party.
I mean,
it
ideally, we'd
seems
separate the Duke and the Duchess from Amorphous, because fighting the three of them together, knowing that they're gonna have some sort of vampiric guard, it almost got real fucking ugly last time, and I'm sure it's not gonna be much better this time. We're on their home turf.
Well, I think Amorphous is at the tower and the Duke and Duchess are in a manor, which is closer to us.
yeah, I have a feeling. I mean, the Father Sweeney said the Dark Tower houses the past, present, and future lords of the Shadowfell. Now, we haven't seen any evidence of Amorphous physically being in any place anywhere. I mean, we've only heard anything but rumors. I mean, the all we've seen is his minions running around doing his bidding. So, I feel like it's safe to assume that maybe he hasn't even left here. He's just got so much power that he's got a reach and is just making everyone else do his bidding. So, I think it is safe to assume that, like Loker said, he's at the Dark Tower and he hasn't left. Not to say we shouldn't underestimate his power and just go fucking batshit crazy, but I don't think we're gonna be dealing with Amorphous here in this little town right here. I feel like this is more of a you know small domain near his main headquarters that he just left to some of his lieutenants, not necessarily where he's residing at the present.
it would suggest that if they're hoping to get approval for them, that they may be open to maybe hearing out the guest or at least meeting with them to trick them or something. I mean, it seems that they're open for a meeting of some sort.
Yeah, maybe we come in as well, no, because they know what we look like, so we can't. We can word of mouth say that, pass on a message, say that we want to meet them to say we're possible quote unquote investors in their plot. maybe at least arrange some sort of meeting, and then we show up. I mean, they're gonna know who we are the moment we show up, but if we use fake names, maybe we can at least arrange some sort of meeting so we know they're gonna be there.
Maybe we could tell him we come with word from Tutu.
Yeah, that information on where Tutu is, because
Because
I mean,
that
I know.
relationship just recently ended. It might not have reached them yet. Or we could maybe say that we have news about Meredith, or because maybe they know her.
Well, I'm very. I would not be surprised if they know her at all. I'm sure they're all in cahoots.
And that would at least put them into meeting with us. Because if they think we're just more of these brainless dolts, partially dead, their incentive is not for us here. Their incentive is the other world, our world.
Yeah, catch them off guard.
But I think we're all in agreement that Baracus and Nayla should die here if we can get away with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're obviously. I mean, we know from our first encounter that they are. I mean, they're close enough to Amorphous that he had a personal communications apparatus connected to them. I mean, she spoke to him in the middle of our fight, and then they dipped out. You don't just give that to any sort of, lowly servant. You give that to someone who you trust. So if we take them out, that hurts him.
As you guys are having this conversation, a trio of individuals walk in. All these slender, kind of lean humans. They look to be farmers, typical folk that you've may or may not have seen kind of going around. But as they kind of stumble in, you notice all three of these young men. All three of them are missing their left hand. All three of them have some relatively pretty clean looking white bandages covering their left hands with a little bit of like you could see a bit of blood kind of like soaking into the bandage. This looks to be like a very, very fresh wound. And all three of these guys come walking in, and then they're like, these farmers, they're like, well, Stan, we just got back from the chop shop. Gave him a few fingers before, got the whole hand this time, but we got paid, so I'm going to need a round of some grub from my brothers. And one of the other three says, yeah, and then I'm gonna take a round of the booze for my brothers. And the third one's like, yeah, and maybe double that. I'll get a round of food and a round of booze for my brothers. And they all kind of embrace each other kind of happily, and they all go and scoot up to the bar, and each one of them places a fancy brand new silver coin down on the table, and he comes by and slowly counts them again. 1, 2, 3. But then he goes about delivering. He brings a couple of mugs full of ale over to these guys, and he wanders back into the kitchen, and you guys hear a bunch of like shit hits the ground, some pots and pans, something shatters, something breaks, and damn it, and then he seems to be gone for some time. But when he does arrive, he has 3 separate plates, brings them to these individuals, and the plates, it seems to be some sort of like gravy or sauce poured over what looks to be like a very lean, like bat wing of some kind. A very not a lot of meat on this type of a wing. And they all like, all right, thanks, mate. And they like just start digging in, drinking some beers, cheersing one another, gnawing on this mostly bone bat wing covered in some sort of sauce. And yeah, that kind of goes down at the bar while you guys are having this conversation off to the side.
So do we want to find out where they're working and who's paying them?
Yeah, I'm a little curious about what they're giving up their fucking hands for.
Blade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Renwick, maybe you can give him a little bit of backup.
I mean, yes.
Happy to help.
You
Yeah,
guys
you
are both.
can commiserate over your right hands no longer being normal hands.
Hey, there you go.
Ooh.
Touche.
Well, shall we?
We shall.
So Blade will make his way over to the trio at the bar.
They're happy. They're sipping drinks. They're gnawing on these weird bat wings. They don't seem to be paying much attention to you. They're excited and they're talking back and forth with one another.
You boys look like you're some smart gentlemen who know a good way to make some money based on those bloody stumps of yours.
They kind of flinch and they look around and see what's look to you and Blade. And they're like, "Whoa, Mister, we don't want any problems. We got a fair price. It was just it was just business. We don't need any problems. Let's buy you around.
Oh no! You misunderstand. I'm commending you. You see, I've got this really weird right hand, and he kind of holds up his tentacles, and he just says, "I think I could probably get a pretty penny for something like this, don't you think?"
Fuck, man, that is weird. That is a weird hand. Fuck.
Yeah, tell me about it. Birth defect. Who would have thought?
I don't
But,
know. Chop Shop might take it, and they'd give you good coin for it.
So this chop shop, who's running this? They give you a fair price for everything? They trustworthy?
I mean, as trustworthy as you get in Shadowfell. Am I right? You guys remember Uncle Pete? And they're like, yeah, fucking Uncle Pete. Oh, man, dumb. But yeah, he turns back to you. Yeah, the chop shop. It's just down the road, and they give you a fair price, But the ghouls that run it, they could be real well ghouls. They're real not to be messed with type. Don't like things like haggling much, but fair coin for fair trade, huh? You do notice that they seem to have a decent coin purse, each one of them, on their belt.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but why would you give up your hand?
Coin, duh. What, you don't eat?
It's hard to eat if you don't have hands.
Hard to eat if you don't have food. What good is a couple of hands? You're just gonna starve to death. At least this way. I didn't even need that hand. I can still do what I need to do. And, enough coin to keep me fed for, a couple weeks at least. It was just a hand. I mean, Uncle Pete, he did the whole shebang. They gave him a big loan, the biggest loan ever. I mean, fucking Uncle Pete, he bought like 2 or 3 of the houses. He set up pretty much the whole damn family. Weird though. Shortly after, taking out a large loan from the ghouls, Uncle Pete met with a mysterious fall. Mysterious or not, it was pretty shady circumstance. Long story short, we're pretty sure the ghouls killed him, but they gave him a good bit of coin and a couple weeks to spend as much of it as he could before they came for the whole shebang. We just did a limb after we got a few fingers here and there. First off, it wasn't even a whole limb, but they still pay fair. Them ghouls. What can you do? You want a beer?
Actually, that'd be nice, brother. Thank you. I would love one.
He pulls another silver coin out of his pouch and says, "Hey, Stan, get this guy a beer, huh?" Okay. He comes over with another full beer.
So these ghouls, you say they take these limbs and they eat them? They repurpose them? What do they do?
Yeah, they eat them, I think. They'll pay you a couple coins for a finger or sometimes a hand. If you want to give them a whole limb at the elbow or the shoulder, the knee or the hip. It all. They weigh it right there in front of you, and they have they give you what it's worth. You can take out a whole loan on the whole body to be transferred to them upon your demise, should and when it happen. But just between us, most people that take out full body meat loans from the chop shop, they don't tend to live very long for one reason or another.
It does seem suspicious, like that their lives were cut short.
Yeah, they're pretty shady folks, but one of the only good sources of coin in town. How long are you willing to starve before you decide you want to give up a finger, maybe two?
That's fair, and I'm sorry to hear that you have to give up limbs for food.
Don't be sorry, I got a shit ton of coin. It just paid for that beer.
Well, thank you, friend, and it's a delicious beer. Very potent.
All right, that's good stuff. Stan doesn't fuck around.
Well,
I don't know. I don't have much more for him, really. I was really just curious about the whole stump thing.
yeah.
I suppose we'll let you get back to it then, gentlemen.
Oh,
And
thanks,
I'll flick a gold coin to Stan and just say, put their tab on me.
Their eyes kind of go wide, and they look back at you and like, "Shit, mister, that's more than we got for all three hands."
Yeah, you don't want to know what I had to cut off to get that. And he winks as he's walking away.
They look horrified.
Blade will upon leaving as well, will leave them a little bit of gold, maybe like 15 gold pieces for the three of them, and just say, next time, don't just be trying to sell limbs. Maybe use some of this instead.
As you kind of leave them this sum of money, they look at it and their eyes go wide and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding, mister? Like, we'll take that. What's the catch? I don't. You don't look like vampires, but they don't come here much. Maybe they do now. I don't know. What is there a catch? What do you're not. You can't kill me. I don't want your gold. I'm sorry, mister. And they push it back to you. That's too much. We don't want to owe you nothing, okay? You're just good. Just drink the beer and call it good.
Just call it payment for the beer. No catch. All yours.
No catch, for sure. Shake on it.
Blade will go to he'll go to shake, but as
he hands you a bloody nub to shake.
Oh well, thank you, and
all right.
Surely it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we wish you the best. And again, don't go selling those limbs so quickly.
Not for a bit, thanks, mister. They kind of now thinking about their decision to hack off some limbs as they were presented a small fortune in the bar today. So as you all kind of reconvene back at your table, how do you proceed?
So why are they missing hands?
So apparently there's this place called the Chop Shop, and when you get really poor and really desperate, you can sell your body parts to these ghouls and they'll pay you in cash. It's kind of like a pawn shop, except you can't buy the limb back because, you know.
Oh, Gladia, is that where your tail went?
Oh, that explains a lot.
You were short on cash.
We've all been young, poor before. Done things we're not proud of.
First of all, I never had a tail. Yeah, it's just, I don't know if that's weird, but I never had a tail. Second of all, that's fucked up. Are we we can't just let that continue. Is that something that happened with Amorphous? Like, is that something that came down through
Well,
him?
I mean, I'd imagine these dark creatures seem to thrive around here, and quite frankly, he doesn't give a shit what happens. So I'm sure a bunch of the Greys are probably selling themselves out of desperation. He's starving the land, and they can't leave through this mist. It's like we're in some sort of pocket dimension or demiplane. Like we're trapped here with him. So, and the only way to really help him is to take it down from the top. It's not like
And
we could
quite,
shut down the ghouls, and if we shut down the ghouls, we're just drawing attention to ourselves.
and quite honestly, looking around, it could have been like this before anybody showed up.
True.
Yeah.
Jurassic doesn't exactly seem like he's like a gaggle of puppies or anything. It seems like he's a pretty dark guy.
Well, he's pretty cool.
I mean, he does give you some fancy powers, and I can't say that, my powerful friend is much better, but, for all we know, Jurassic could have been running the shit just like this. So the ghouls are not my concern right now. My concern's taking down these fucking bloodsuckers.
All right. Yeah, I think that's primary focus. Gotta stay on that. All right, so Locris, that girl you talked to, you think you can find her again and get her to get us an in? Maybe a meeting?
I don't know if she would have a way. She was going to the red carpet to try and get in with the vampires. I don't think she could get us into anybody specific. She would just show us where that bar is, and then we have to play with vampires. So then we can go with either A, we're trying to talk to Baracus and Nayla and try and schedule a meeting since a lot of them might not know who we are. Or we go on a murdering spree and draw attention and they'll come talk to us that way.
Yeah, I guess it's sounds like there are only two ways to play it. Either take out their spawn down here, get their attention, or we go to them. So I mean, what's everyone else think?
I mean, I'm always of the mindset that we don't want to draw any more attention to ourselves than we have to. If we could find a good way to isolate them with as few people around as possible.
Well, to do that, we have to get into their inner sanctum, so to speak. So we need to find a way to get into their. I mean, I'm sure they have some sort of manor.
They do have a manor. I know where it is. I just don't know how populated it is. For all we know, they could have 20 people up in there.
But they probably won't have 20 people up in their private quarters.
Maybe just guards instead.
Exactly.
As you guys are having this conversation, and you guys did a bit of a information gathering earlier, you do notice from the varied windows in the area, even though most of them are kind of boarded up, the skeletons don't seem to be too affected. The guys that are smoking their pipes and rolling dice, but the three brothers and even the couple that were sharing a beverage in a hushed corner, they all kind of, hey, thanks Sam, or thanks Dan, we're gonna get the fuck out of here, see you later. And, okay. And you guys kind of realize that even though the sun just rose a couple of hours ago, this blood star, it is already beginning to set. Roughly, a day, at least in the daylight period of Shadowfell, you've only roughly got just a smidge north of about 3 hours of actual daylight, and you can see that the sun is beginning to set already.
So, do we want to find somewhere to sleep?
Yeah, I think we need to definitely take a good rest before we go storming any castles.
Agreed.
I'm a little fucked right now. Not the good way.
Yeah, they're about to get up and probably start circling around. So, guess we could see if there's any rooms here.
Oh, I've already got us rooms for the night, boys. Stan hooked it up.
Dan the man. Well, I mean, should we just go to bed then and solidify a plan in the morning? I mean, I think
Yeah,
we
it's
got
been a long day anyway.
I might recommend that we pair up, though. 2 people in each room, just to, or I don't know. I just don't think any of us should necessarily be alone down here. We've probably
I
had eyes
would
on us that we weren't
say
aware of.
we all
call
go in the same room and we get Blade to put up the dome.
I call sleeping with Gladier.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
I'll protect you, little one.
Yeah, Blade, if you don't mind throwing up a dome in our room, that would probably be a cozier and safer way of getting some rest down here.
Absolutely no problem.
Yeah, as you guys kind of make your way up into this room, you notice that the upstairs only actually has one bedroom, and you walk into it, and it's not in the best shape. There's a pile of hay in one corner. There is two actual chickens. They seem to be somewhat deformed. One has 2 heads. One has 3 legs. They are kind of roosting on what used to be a bookshelf. Aside from that, there is one broken bed in the corner. The bed frame is broken. The mattress is still there, but it is very torn up. The wool and fluff is kind of just seeping out. And aside from that, it is a very plain room, and it looks to be Stan's personal quarters.
I know it's been a while, but we've slept in worse.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be worse. I mean, I'll just take this spot on the floor right here, the least dirty, gross looking spot.
Logus will snuggle up next to Gladier.
Could be worse. This is literally, I mean, this might be the worst room. I mean, there's literally a 2-headed chicken here.
It barks at you. Bagak!
Logan says, "There's a two-headed chicken." And he's gonna cast Speak with Animals on it.
As the spell completes, Logos, all you hear from this chicken is like deep thoughts of demented horrors of the abyss, the deepest, most darkest inner thoughts that even you find so repulsive that you can't, you shudder at this chicken's actual intellect and ability to communicate, while it suffers this massive intelligence in such a frail and incapable body that it cannot seem to maneuver in any which way. Like, it is truly terrifying on a magnificent scale.
Oh God. That chicken has seen some shit, man. I think we need to put it out of its misery. That's a devil chicken. That's a demon chicken, man. Get it out of here.
It bagaks at you. Bagak!
Should we bring it in the hut with us?
Gladia, it says it wants to eat your nuggets, man.
Oh, it's just a nice little chicken. I've seen plenty of two-headed chickens on the farm back in Hordenshire. There's nothing wrong with it.
Gladia, I can assure you that this is no normal chicken. The atrocities that this chicken has seen and or have done is unfathomable.
If Gladiator says he can handle a cock, he can handle a cock. Just.
But can he handle two cocks? Because that's what that is.
Hold on now. I didn't say anything about that.
I think
Actually,
I might
he
have
did.
something.
He said that he's used to two cocks back on his farm or something like that.
Exactly what I heard.
I cast bonus action Blinding Smite and attack the chicken.
No,
That's the right thing to do. No, Blade, it's for the best. That chicken is the devil.
He doesn't look like he's done anything wrong.
It's too late. I said it.
Give me an attack roll, Gladiator.
That's
Watch.
a 23.
It's gonna miss because that's an eldritch horror.
You crush this chicken, and an explosion of blinding light and feathers everywhere. There is now just like a perfectly cooked, almost rotisserie style chicken just chilling on this bookshelf, while the other chicken looks at you with like dread and disdain.
I can't Speak with Animals on that chicken.
That was my brother. What the fuck happened?
I start eating the rotisserie chicken.
What was wrong with your brother? Why were his thoughts so dark and demented?
It's just how he is, man. He is how he was made. That guy's eating my brother.
It's the dark meat, I bet. Huh, get it?
It's the circle of life, my friend. Would you prefer us to eat you too, so you don't be left alone?
No, you can have him. He probably tastes good.
It's the dark meat.
Would you like a piece, or would that be weird?
No, I'm in. Give me a leg.
What the fuck?
So I'll throw a chicken leg to the other chicken.
He
You
for
just made
sure
it-
like starts stripping it down to the bone, eating it.
Chickens are cannibals, aren't they?
You know, that's a
They
down
really
ass
are.
chicken over
Even
there.
in real life,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
That chicken's cool as shit over there.
All right, that chicken can hang out in the hut, but we've killed the evil one, so we're fine at that. I'm gonna go to sleep now. I just had half a rotisserie chicken. You guys can finish it. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, guys, we're going to bed. And Logus snuggles up.
Glader just softly backhands Logus and then turns away from him.
You backhand me? Joke's on you. That's my king again.
He loves it.
Big daddy energy coming from Gladiator right now.
Swear to God, if I feel anything poking me in the middle of the night, I will smite you, and I literally can smite you.
It's all right.
Bet you
In
wish
due
you were
time.
born with the tail now so that you could tuck
know.
it.
God damn it.
Oh,
dropping a little map in the feed. So since you guys have thoroughly kind of explored the town and got some directions here and some info there, this is basically what you're dealing with. This is the town of Raptor, and you guys are currently at Stan's. So yeah, there you go. Take a check of that out.
Damn, that manor's got a big ass wall. Yeah, we're gonna have to get like an invitation there.
I could probably climb it. I got the boots of the cloak of the web. I could climb that.
You think my fat ass can climb it though?
That's all right. I'll climb it, drop a rope over or something.
This would be, this map courtesy of I assume like Archie or something. Blade would be able to map out the city thoroughly with Archie's help from above or something.
And Gladiator, I've seen lizards climb walls. You could do it.
Yeah.
You're right, Locust. Maybe he's not Dragonborn. Maybe he's a lizard folk this whole time.
How dare you?
Tiny tail, though.
How dare you think I'm some lowly lizard folk? I am a dragonborn. There's a difference.
I'm just saying, dragons have tails.
And I just figured out that Glader was not a fan of lizard folk. That's a character development that I just found out right now.
Is it because they steal all your shine?
Yeah, fuck.
Tail.
I'm asleep right now. Fuck you guys. I'm long resting.
And yeah, I imagine if the party has anything that they want to do before we call the sesh for the night, let me know. But I think this is probably a good spot to put the old bookmark in the story for now.
Oh boy.
Logus is gonna, put a blanket over Gladiator, make sure he's nice and snug.
Yeah, I'll bring in the three-legged cock and throw it in next to him.
Wonderful. It's a little snuggle pile. It's like a dog pile.
Oh man, what was it that cultist used to call it? Was it a cuddle puddle? Just one big old Shadowfell cuddle puddle.
Big old cuddle puddle with the lizard folk.
That's terrible.
Fuck you. Don't call it a lizard folk. You bitch.
You guys are cracking me up. That was a good sesh, fellas. You guys had me rolling.
Dude, that was fun.
One last thing before we go. In the room that we're in, is there a window or something out of it, or is it just a closed square room?
It is definitely a boarded up window.
All right. So there's only one entrance, one way in, one way out.
I mean, you probably could beat your way out that boarded up window if you needed, but yeah, for the most part, one way in, one way out.
Were we gonna set up watches, or are we just gonna sleep?
Probably should set up watches.
So I'll probably just need the first, just get my 4 hours and then finish it off.
Yeah, I can take the first 4 hours, and then when you get up, I can get my 8.
All right, well we'll do that then, just in case something is trying to creep on us in the night.
Yeah. I mean, we can start it off next sessions if you want, Sean. We can just start off with watches instead of just doing that tonight because it's arbitrary.
Yeah, sure.
Right now.
I'm just gonna make a little note here, and we will start off next session. We'll see how much of that long rest you guys get, if any.
I need it.
Yeah. But yeah, dudes, thanks for that session was awesome. You guys are always cracking me up. That was a good time. Keep in touch, dudes, and let's do this crazy thing again soon.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Bye, boys. See
All
you
right, guys,
next
take
week.
it easy. Have a good night.
All right, catch you later.
Night, y'all.